that's muted. Alrighty, everyone. We are now live here at the Capital One offices in McLean, Virginia. Here to watch the best of three finals between our two championship teams this year for the 2016 Capital One circuit. We got Team 6 on the blue side, I believe, though, led by Wgong. And the rest of their players, Wgong is going to be in the jungle. Top lane, Spook Nuke, or Notorious Spook, as he's now known as. He's changed his name up a little bit. Mid lane, Sabotage, support, James LS. And for the AD carry, they actually have to get a sub because finals week getting really hectic. Not everyone was able to quite make it out for the entire day. So they do have a an AD carry sub that is pretty similar in skill. And do you want to go ahead and introduce the Team 8?
All right, in Team 8, with the captain Lord Patchling in support, in their top lane, they're going to be having Larry Zhang UMD. In the jungle is Sax. In the mid lane is Ganked by Mom, and an AD carry Rat with a Hat.
All right, yeah, I'm super hyped to see this matchup. Richard and I were actually on a team together in this tournament, and we got knocked out by Larry Zhang UMD and friends for Team
low-key,
8.
go Team 6.
Yeah, don't tell anyone, though. This is, as casters, we're completely unbiased, but we got your number, Team 8. Our eyes are on you. But yeah, anyways, just to introduce myself, I am Sprintspeed. My co-caster here is C9 Hai's balls. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good. A little weird because I almost thought I would be subbing today, but I'd much rather cast than play because I brought nothing but a Chromebook today.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit awkward to play on a Chromebook. Obviously not the most optimal performance. If you guys want to check out, we do have the Capital One t-shirts for this year. Got that nice
Blastudo, I believe.
Blastudo is the evolution. I don't know what the other ones are called for the Squirtle and Wartortle. Do we Squirtudo and Wartudo? I guess. Alright, that's I guess that's their name, but yeah. If you guys want to pick those up, I guess you can check out the Facebook group or however the club wants to do it. I'm not part of it anymore, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
I'm just
neither
here
am I.
to enjoy some quality League of Legends.
But these shirts will be up for, I would assume, purchase at a reasonable price of like $10 to $15, as they usually are. So.
For one human soul is one of the rumors going on, but don't worry, you've already sold your soul to League of Legends, so I guess you really have nothing left to offer in terms of bargaining power. So looks like we're just gonna make sure everyone is going to be getting into this lobby, and we'll be starting right off. I'm not sure if they've already flipped for sides. Let me just.
See some playful banter going on in the chat.
Yeah, kick sacks. Shut up, idiot. XD, lol. Yeah, not that I know of. All right, well. If they want to flip, they can go to the lovely Discord channel, sponsoring the club right now, and our co-president Julia has actually set up an automatic flipping command. So if you ever need those coins flipped, you can always go to the Discord channel, check that out. I would talk about things I'm excited to see from these two teams, but I'm a little afraid if we want to like give anything away before the game starts.
We're gonna ask that if you are a player on either team, that you please exit the stream now.
Yeah, we gave them the stream link just so that they could like let their friends know, people that might be hyped to see them. But
if you are a player, yes, please
Yeah.
leave. We will be talking about some of our findings during our scouting and such. So
yeah. And just for anyone that's like watching not live in the offices, we actually do have people in each of the rooms as refs to make sure there's none of this suspicious activities going on. But
yeah, and
Sax sucks eggs coming up from Notorious Spook right now. This is getting pretty heated. I've never seen an egg insult like that before. Someone ban this guy. Holy cow! All right. These guys are ready to throw some punches. Got that fire.
Wait, why is
burning
Kim in
between them. Leong 96. Maybe he just wants to also enjoy some good League of Legends games. I know that Leong does play with a few of these players, so pretty good friends with them. If you look at actually the audience cam, which is right there, you can see the rest of the UMCB club officers plus random puppy we picked up at UMBC who's hiding right now, but sorry, it's not a real puppy, it's just Calvin.
Oh, and there's one extra person that's off cam right now that will quickly.
Aha, I see it. Oh wait, no, that way.
Wait, go back. Wait, wave again.
Right there.
Right there.
There we go.
It was your birthday earlier this week, so say happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Katini Jacqueline Chen, co-president of the club. And on the other side, Julia, who's facing away from the camera right now, just trying to throw out a dude. Kind of trying to keep it cool over there. Other co-president. We got the whole deal here, whole shebang. We got Capital One people around checking out some of the different offices and making sure the players are good to go. Looks like we're just waiting on one person, I believe. Actually, Notorious Spook is already in this lobby. He's just in the spectator slot, so maybe we're just waiting for them to get ready. But yeah, I think the story of this tournament, at least for when you look at Team 8 here, Team 8's on the red side currently, has been Larry Zhang UMD. He's just such a unique player in terms of how he approaches the game and his champion pool.
His champion pool is extremely odd and consists of pretty much only AP champions that you'd normally be playing in the mid lane, but instead built in some odd super late game top lane style.
Yeah.
So yeah, he plays Karthus top, Anivia top. Yeah, he also had a long streak in his match history of Nami top, which was a little odd and scary, and recently pulled out the Malzahar as well. But it has been like a solid couple of weeks. He's probably picked up something new simply for this tournament. So seeing Larry Zhang's pick should be quite interesting.
Yeah, and especially when you look at his laning opponent, Notorious Spook, one of the most well-known carry top laners in the UMCP club. His favorite champions, obviously GP. He's actually been playing a lot of Illaoi this tournament, so I would not be surprised at all to see Illaoi versus one of these strange AP top laners in this matchup. Yeah. That could be something I've never quite casted before.
Yeah, and he also plays a very dangerous Riven, which is extremely powerful against these not very mobile AP top laners.
And there's just some both teams know some of these like really obvious kind of like meta picks for or comfort picks for either of these teams. So I go out just joking around, hey, you guys should leave GP up because we're using a sub 80 carry. Talking about how the enemy team's gonna feed. There's just a lot of playful banter. That one came from Kaliang. He's not even on either of these teams. He's just
didn't even make it out of groups.
I guess not. He's just a little salty right now, slinging some shade at some of his friends. But we'll see if they bring out anything we haven't seen before. The wild card, obviously, in this is Jungle Lee Sin only, who's actually playing for their 80 carry slot today. Because neither you nor I have seen him before. But
yeah, he's kind of this random Capital One employee. We kind of just picked up and said, hey, you play League, right? And he's like, yeah. And he is around the same rank, so.
Yeah, as their replacement Snapple, who unfortunately was not able to be here today. Looks like Sabotage27 saying he has a 102% win rate. Pretty impressive.
Pretty nice, but that's still just like an A+, and that's not. It's just a 4.0 on your GPA, so sadly it does nothing for you.
You know, UMD has really, like, I graduated now, but I was a little annoyed because my average was like an A-, so my grade like always got dragged down because I'd only get 3.7s, but it never got brought up because whenever I got like an A, it like just, or I more frequently got A- than I did A+, so I feel bad.
The system honestly hurts you unless you're a slacker.
Yeah, but oh well. I guess
system helps
what's
me,
done.
but that's because I'm terrible at studying in school.
Well, you're not terrible at League of Legends analysis, which is why we got you on the desk today, ready to go. It looks like I shook the camera a little bit by slapping the table.
It's okay.
Earthquake. Maybe we'll see Talia coming out, get that seismic shove.
Yeah, I actually think that GBM or John Park Inc. by Mom has played a solid amount of Talia before as well. So it actually is a possibility. But sadly, with the recent nerfs, Talia is not that great of a champion at the moment.
I know her wave clear definitely has suffered. See, casters in case they're waiting on us. Alrighty. But yeah, what do you think might be first pick priority for these teams?
I'm gonna say it's gonna have to go to the jungle. Both junglers are relatively highly ranked and play against each other with each other fairly often. Wow and Sax have both been pretty strong players. I believe they usually end up hovering around Diamond 3 at the end of the season, so quite relatively high level of play here. And they're both also very carry-oriented players. Wow used to play AD carry. When he moved to the jungle, he plays stuff like Vi and Kha'Zix. And Kars, or now Sax, is also very, very similar. He plays a very hard carry Lee Sin, plays a solid Graves, Kha'Zix, and Rengar. So they all play very carry-oriented AD junglers. However, I believe Aigu is slightly more flexible in that he's willing to play tanks for his team as well.
Yeah, especially because he has that just iconic carry top lane spook, notorious spook. Definitely being able to flex into that tank role might give them a little bit more room in terms of what kind of team compositions they can build. But I did notice that the bot lane for Team 8 has also focused a lot of like really dominant lanes, going for like the Karma Caitlyn, getting the Janna for better auto harass. So I wouldn't be surprised if Team 8 get a lead in the bottom lane, but we don't really know how the AD carry and support's going to go for the blue side. So looks like everyone's getting ready here. Might about to get into pick ban really quickly. You think we're gonna see any new assassins coming out?
I don't think assassins fall in either of our mid laners champion pools. I know GBM has dabbled in a little bit of Ahri before, so he does sort of play as I don't know. I still honestly consider Ahri more of a control mage than an assassin, but she does have the possible mobility to get catches. But I don't think either mid laner really plays assassins. Their champion pool more or less is consistent of control mages at the moment, which are very much so in the meta, so it makes sense. And also, generally in competitive tournaments such as these, assassins are very risky to play because mistakes are... You never want to throw a game for your team. So having a wave clear control mage in the middle lets you safely scale and eventually win the game that way.
Yeah, and they're going through these bans really quickly, just right off the bat. We've got Singed, LeBlanc, Graves, and a Gangplank Hecarim on the other side. So the Singe is actually a target ban toward Larry Zhang. We didn't mention that when we were going through his picks, but Singe is definitely one of the ones that he plays a lot. We'll see what they first pick. It looks like, I don't know if there are any power picks left open for the blue side. They actually grabbed the Janna right off the bat and going straight for the Malzahar. Larry Zhang going to be happy to do that. He did have the Karthus option. He's played that in this tournament before, but decides to go for the Malzahar.
Yeah, Malzahar is probably on purpose because against Notorious Spook, Spook plays carry top laner, so it's a lot easier to deal with the carry when you can just tell him to stop moving. So it's more of a safe sort of top lane matchup that also has the potential to kill when you have a gank. I know both of these supports are generally more so the peel caster type of support, which is also extremely meta right now. Tank supports honestly aren't doing too well. So Janna and Nami are both relatively highly contested. I kind of would have liked to see the Karma maybe, but either way, these support picks are nothing out of the ordinary. It just seemed odd that they didn't go for a jungle power pick, considering that many of them are very jungle carry oriented.
And talking about jungle power picks, Wow grabbing that Zach. If any of you were tuning in on Thursday for the lower bracket finals, Zach was definitely a pick that was very highly contested there and actually was used very well by Team 10 in their victory that night. But looks like they're going for an Ashe as well. So like I said, we've never seen Jungle Lee Sin only play AD carry. So I guess Ashe might be one of his more comfortable picks.
Now the Janna first pick is making a lot more sense. Janna is the easiest way to counter Zac, so by taking that away from a person that you know, Lord Patchling is their captain and support and also mains Janna. I believe he's Diamond It was Diamond 2 or something at the end of the season. Can't remember exactly. But either way, Janna was his most played. So it is a smart idea to take it away from him and remove Janna as a possible pick for the other team. However, Zac is also relatively hard countered by Poppy. Poppy just has to put up her W and stop Zac's jump from pretty much anywhere. So more or less the same effect as Janna. However, not going to be in the bottom lane constantly and will only be effective when team fights finally start to happen. So we have to see if blue team can successfully transition into heavy bot lane ganks without letting Poppy get there first. So the Poppy is a little odd though, because I would have thought that Poppy would be going top lane. However, Larry Zhang really only plays weird AP top, so this could actually be a Poppy jungle from Sax, which is something you're not really accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Poppy in the jungle. I'm not sure what her clear speed's like, but definitely not going to be quite as scary in terms of engage range out of the jungle when you compare it to something like a Zac. Notorious Spook now hovering the Riven, that is something I would love to see in the finals. He does play that Riven a lot in a lot of the custom in-houses that with the club members or just in normal / solo queue games.
Ooh. And a swap to an assassin. This Fizz might maybe.
I think the Orianna is a much safer pick, giving you a lot more wave clear just in case you start falling behind. They already have a lot of engage with that Zac, and he actually flexes to the Kennen. So Notorious Spook gonna be seeing if he can whop out some of this AoE team fight goodness.
What's going on now? And Ivern as well? Is this a Poppy?
This is gonna be interesting.
Mid or wait?
All right, so looks like
Poppy jungle. Okay, never mind. This is fine. This makes more sense.
We got this. So it will probably be the Malzahar top. Again, the spoilers bars are covering summoner spells just in case they want to hide anything, flex it around. But just going by what we know based on what these people have played before, I would guess it's going to be Malzahar top and then a Poppy in the jungle, like you were saying.
They're also trading like crazy, but I don't think
just
that's really going to fool
mind
anyone.
gaming the enemy team. Hey, you think it's me? I'm Caitlyn top. Just kidding. Ha. Are you ready for that Poppy Malzahar bottom lane?
This Poppy mid is interesting. So I don't really think Poppy. Okay, it should be Poppy jungle. I'm getting confused by this. Maybe it will work.
It is quite a mind game. And we will be getting the final lock in 5 seconds. Rat with a hat now swapping for that Caitlyn. He is usually their AD carry in most of their games, so I assume that's what they're going to play. And yeah, all right, so this is our final kind of setup here. We do have one thing I want to point out is that Sabotage 27 running that exhaust in the mid lane. A little bit scared of that Ahri, and honestly, I can't blame him.
Yeah, exhaust is a perfectly fine summoner spell against the other team. However, it is a little short-ranged of a summoner spell against the other team. It's probably not going to be used on Malzahar because you have to walk through the majority of their front line. It's kind of wasted on Poppy. It's really only good against a singular person, which is Ahri. So it's an okay choice here. Personally, I would have liked to see a barrier, a heal, or a ghost more. I think mobility will help you more in the long run. But either way, it's a solid pick. It's not terrible, but it's also not the most optimal in my opinion.
Yeah, and especially with this team, you have Out and Notorious Spook. People that have been friends for years now, obviously have played together a lot. So if you're in the mid lane as an Orianna, you don't really need to dominate your lane in any sense. You just need to be able to get enough farm so that you can get some shockwaves out. You have the Zac delivery system. There's nothing forcing you to like carry your lane. So
and also the thing I really like about the Kennen pick into Malzahar, I never really thought about it because Kennen's almost always top and Malzahar's always pretty much always mid. But I believe Malzahar's tether range is roughly the same as Kennen's ult. So as long as he gets his ult off before he gets suppressed, he has a pretty high chance of stunning Malzahar out of his ult.
Yeah,
so I like that a lot. Also, the Slicing Maelstrom has many procs of damage, so he'll easily proc and block turn off the Malzahar passive.
Proc and block, boys.
So the CC will still go through. I don't remember if Slicing Maelstrom targets minions or not, but if it does, then it'd be great because it just destroys and wipes all the Voidlings too.
I think it does hit minions, but it prioritizes champions if you use it with a champion nearby.
I believe it actually just straight up hits everything. Let me search this up real fast.
It does because of
That
the
might have been-
infamous Dyrus COG minions ending the game where Dyrus flash ult, Kennen ult, and it's not enough to
Alright.
stop us. Super creepy.
So we have gotten a third opinion. Kennen does hit minions with the ultimate. But yeah, we'll just try to keep an eye on that top lane. And we've been talking a lot about this top side of the map and then the other solo lane in the mid side. But if you look at the Ashe Janna, having that Ashe gives you so much, it makes it so much easier for the rest of this very aggressive blue squad to be able to pick fights, because you have like the Zac, the Kennen, the Orianna, all people that really want to get in there, and having that flex engage off your AD carry gives you just another tool by which you can kind of make that happen. If you didn't have like all these engage tools, then you'd be completely reliant on a good elastic slingshot from the Zac. But the fact that you have this now means that Kennen doesn't really have to get the perfect flank. You can just kind of throw that out there, and Kennen can just flash Proto Belt in, get that off. So that makes the win condition for blue team a lot easier.
Personally, I'm going to have to say I like the team comp of Team 6 a little bit more. It's definitely more teamfight oriented, which is generally how these tournaments are decided. People don't really snowball lane leads and then get away with it. Killed 10 runs. We don't care about them anymore. But we'll see how it actually ends up playing out. So there is a decent skill difference in the top lane. I believe Spooknuke has always been hovering in mid diamond. Larry Zhang usually capping out at diamond 5, I believe. Sorry, Larry, if you've gone higher. But
Wow.
Just say, there's definitely potential for a top lane snowball going on. There's also a decent amount of potential of a mid lane snowball going on as well. GBM, I believe, has a decent rank advantage against Sabotage 27, and GBM also plays a crazy aggressive mid, but luckily that exhaust might come into use and bait GBM into some terrible fights, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and a lot of times when people talk about flexing top laners into the jungle, one of the most important questions that comes up is how is it going to work out if you don't have nearly as much gold to be able to kind of come through in these games? A lot of times when you're playing a top laner, since you have all that income from the CS, you can build a lot more tanky items, and you can use that to kind of make yourself tanky in the fights. So when we bring Poppy to the jungle, the question has to be asked, how is Poppy going to be tanky? And the new Courage of the Colossus Mastery, I think, is the answer here. Just giving you so much free maximum HP shields that Poppy can really rely on that and kind of help mitigate the gap in the gold discrepancy that you would have from bringing her in the top side instead.
Yeah, I don't know how Poppy's jungle clear is in the new jungle. A lot of the new jungle really requires you to either be a crazy at AoE or great at single target. I don't think Poppy excels at either. So, well, we'll see how that works out. In terms of masteries and summoner keystones, they all seem relatively normal.
All right, and looks like we already have a pause so far. I don't know if I can swap all. All right, yeah, looks like I can, so I can get them in the good order. We'll just make sure. Bathroom break. Holy cow! All right, so if any of you are unaware, there's so many times with like. There are way too many bathroom breaks just in this cast in general. Just the fact that it's happening in the finals. We've been setting this up for like an hour and a half now, and it's kind of surprising to me that nobody considered going to the bathroom before the loading screen. Maybe it's one of those things. I mean, from the field of psychology, you talk about like situational kind of habits and stuff. Maybe it's like once they're getting in game, their body's like, oh man, the game's about to start. Wait, where's your bathroom break? Triggering them a little bit. So, yeah. So we're going to be loading in pretty quick. We'll see. I do want to give props to I think the entirety of Red Side has skins for their team. So they got the 5-man squad dream going in here. I gotta
pay to win.
I have to give them a little bit of an edge in that respect.
There's also very serious amounts of playful banter going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Poppy, Sax, calling Spook ugly. Oh my gosh. That's getting a little vitriolic in nature. So I don't know if he's restarting now.
Gotta say, I love the items so far. I love item analysis, and I would have to say that Hunter's Talisman's a great idea on Poppy.
Why does it make it better than the
So Hunter's Machete is purely based on lifesteal, so you kind of want to run that on people with high auto attacks and such. And then also, since the jungle moved towards a more AoE oriented style, so what Hunter's Talisman does is whenever you damage jungle minions, you steal HP from them, also, and it gives you mana regen. So because of all these tiny little chickens or golems hitting you all the time, you can more or less just passively steal HP and AoE them down as your fake sort of AoE clear.
Getting that hammer shock.
Yeah, Poppy also definitely needs to spam her E and Q constantly in the jungle to clear minions and not lose too much health, so having that extra mana regen should help. Refillable potion should be fine. Pretty sure Poppy's going to have to recall many times. I don't think her first clear is that great. So, pretty normal pick. Also, Poppy was picked after the Zac as a response to the Zac, I would say. And Zac is not exactly the greatest at invading the jungle. And Poppy's not that great at clearing. So, they kind of equal each other out. So, Poppy will have a relatively safe clear free from intense ganks. So, I'm pretty sure both junglers are just going to farm it out and try to scale as quickly as possible. Yeah, sorry, we don't have a sub button yet.
I'm just typing out in chat. If you guys want to support the stream, you can check out our sponsors' Discord.
Or you can bank with Capital One.
Yeah, especially. They're sponsoring this tournament. They're the ones that brought us all out here, gave us some free food, making sure everyone competing gets some pretty cool prizes, getting jackets and shirts for everybody. Once we get back to the... Actually, we can swap back the camera right now since we're still waiting. But yeah, behind us you can see shirts that Capital One has gotten for the club, which is really cool. But yeah, just throwing back to that Squirtudo, Wartudo, and Blastudo, the triad of water starters at UMD. But yeah, we got an eye on the game, so just we'll let you know once it's back in, and we'll switch it back over. But so far, it looks like wonder if any of these teams are going to be doing any crazy level 1s.
Yeah, generally in tournaments, level 1s are not too common. Most people decide to just play with a decently long line of scrimmage, spread out to every single jungle entrance, stand around, try to make sure that no one invades. Neither team has a particularly strong level 1, I would say, and neither team exactly has a long-range engage, other than maybe a Nami bubble. So I think both teams are probably going to play it pretty calm and not do anything level 1.
Yeah, and somebody was asking what the jacket, the Capital One jacket looked like. I don't know if we have one right here. But yeah, anyways, it does have the emblem on it, but though those are only for the winners. If you actually want a shirt, you can just go ahead, I think, and buy one. I guess we'll get details on how that will go down later. So, yeah, like you said, a lot of people, especially in the first game of a best of series in the tournament, I mean, you have that possibility where you can maybe kind of send out some, where you can maybe make something cheesy happen, and if you screw up, you still have the other games to fall back on. But a lot of people feeling a little bit jittery, like tournament nerves, want to just get settled into the game. Yeah. Don't want to do anything super high risk.
Yeah, but I have to say, it's a bit of a worrying trend here. Team 8 has 2 players who have purchased items already, but meanwhile, no one on Team 6 has purchased anything.
Yeah, they got to get their APM up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I originally was a StarCraft fan before I switched to League, and over there, you got to get that APM if you want to be able to compete against your opponents. And I got to say, Team 6 right now is a little bit disappointing on that front. They a little bit slow grabbing their items.
It's like whenever you play ARAM and you just happen to have the team of people who are either AFK or really slow at buying items.
Kenan Notorious Spook saying in chat, it's not up for you guys right now, but he's saying life is an enigma, and Caitlin responds, life is like a box of chocolate, it exists.
For like 5 minutes until I get to it.
Yeah. Interesting. Apparently somebody's restarting the computer, so we're just waiting extra minute or two. And then Poppy comes out. How do we know that it exists if our eyes aren't real? So very philosophical debates going on right now. Maybe not the best word choice, but all right. I go out saying, never mind, our buddy's coming in real quick. Hopefully, we'll be getting this started really soon. Almost got this underway. wonder what kind of areas in the map the teams are going to pressure, because obviously you have that Notorious Spook Igo Wow synergy, but again with the Ash Janna bottom, coupled with the Zac, that could be a really dangerous lane to play against. And Nami is a pretty good champion with disengage, but if you don't land the bubble, it becomes a lot harder.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Zac should be focusing the bot lane quite a bit, and possibly the top lane once ultimates are available. I like Zac's potential to gank a Caitlyn and a Nami. They both are okay at running away, but not great at it, and they don't have anything to immediately stop Zac's jump. But a well-placed Caitlyn trap into a Nami bubble does have the potential to turn it around and have Poppy swoop in and end the deal. So it could easily go either way. I think it's definitely going to depend on jungler pathing this game. If the junglers can keep tabs on each other, I believe Poppy definitely has the upper hand when it comes to counter ganking.
All right, and we are back in the game. You're talking about them not buying the items, but all of the blue side just, bam, gets them right off the bat. Got that APM ready to go.
But Larry Zhang didn't buy anything, and Rat with a hat didn't buy a potion in lane. Is this on purpose?
Actually, Rat with a hat bought the Doran's Blade before the pause happened. Maybe he thinks he's, like, the click went through and he got all the potions as well. So in his mind, he could have said, all right, I'm ready to go after the pause.
It's possible. Or feels like every time he recalls, he's 50 gold short, and he just decides that Nami is all the healing he needs.
I mean, I guess that's possible. I'm not sure what's up with our boy Larry right now. All right, he grabs his corrupting potion right before minions are about to spawn. He's good to go now. If there's an actual problem, his team would probably pause it again or let one of us know. So I don't think there's any shenanigans in terms of the connection or stability issues.
Yeah, and all of Team 6, or pretty much all of Team 6, other than Spook, went for the biscuits. So going for a little bit of extra healing, sustain, trying to keep it passive and keep it strong, and I guess in the late game they are going to be looking to be doing a crap ton of team fighting, so the other possible mastery would have been Assassin, which isn't exactly that great when you're team fighting because you're not isolated.
Ari does have the old potion, so might be running that extra damage in the solo lane. Definitely something that Ari could benefit from.
Yeah, Nami did get one auto attack off, so now one team is ahead in probably 6 gold. I don't know if they're running pickpocket, but we'll see.
Yeah, we can check it. Oh, nope. Everyone's at 511 for the Nami. You're right. Look at that. She's got that 11 gold sitting out there, but that 50 gold on Rat with a hat. We'll see if that actually plays into anything. Sabotage 27 right now, getting a little bit of harass in that mid lane by ganked by Mom, and Sax might be looking for something really cheesy here, actually going around at the level 2 mark. Is she going to invade the Zac or maybe gank mid? She pops a ward over the blue buff, trying to spot out where he is. Sabotage taking a lot of harass from this level 1 Ari.
And Poppy actually went into the blue buff. She Horror charged over the wall. She is going for this steal, but Zac is right there. Got to see how this plays out. The wolf is almost going down, so there is a chance that Zac will spot Poppy trying to steal this.
Yeah, Orianna has popped a potion, so she's feeling pretty good right there. Here comes a jump over by Igo, but actually a stun in the top side. Larry Zhang UMD almost goes down, but does stay alive here, and looks like Zac is going to try to pick up the blue buff. He does get it, stealing the experience away from Zac. Ari does have the shove out in the mid lane, so she is able to roam before Orianna does. That looks like that is going to be just a small advantage for Sax, and he really wasn't punished at all for that.
Yeah, neither jungler had smite there, so it actually just came down to who could save their skills for the camp and who could save their skills to harass the other person. It's like Poppy has a little more AoE than Zac and a little more damage there, so Poppy ends up getting the blue buff for free, or not exactly for free, but ends up stealing it away successfully.
It looks like Notorious Spook throwing out more of those Thundering Shurikens, trying to get that extra harass onto his laning opponent. And you know, on the bottom side, the other side lane for Team 6 is being aggressive again. So we were talking about the importance of these side lanes, trying to get advantages there. And so far, Team 6 looks like they're in a good spot to do that. But obviously against the Nami, that ebb and flow is going to come out, keep them nice and healthy.
Yeah, in the classic GBM mid lane, it looks like he's winning. He's great at pushing and harassing, but sadly he's terrible at CSing. During the first 5 minutes of any game, of any first game of any series, he somehow manages to miss usually the entire first wave and the majority of the second.
Yeah, we saw Sabotage 27 actually fall to like 40% HP before drinking his potions. But as you can see, he's already up 6 CS, which is the full minion wave. Even even though there's only been like 3 waves in this entire game so far, he's already down an entire one, but a charm lands, baiting out Agawao to follow up with the elastic slingshot. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get the kill because the exhaust does come out. Are they gonna get the last damage? Yes! First blood goes to Sabotage 27 in the mid lane. Not what we were expecting.
Yeah, and Zach actually manages to survive with the shield from Orianna and not have to burn his passive. In general, when you're playing Zach, if you have passive, you just keep ganking like a madman. Sax is coming in mid lane though, trying to pick up this return kill. Sabotage does have flash, but doesn't manage to flash in time.
Oh,
and
yes!
flashes at the end, but Sax
Oh,
responds with another flash. Aiguao jumps in, doesn't have the health to really duel here. He's gonna have to back out.
Yeah, I think Sabotage was playing a little bit cheeky there. He wanted to flash over the heroic charge and blow the cooldown while still escaping, but that trying to get that outplay happen, but unfortunately that didn't go down. Maybe there's like a slight ping issue, but which could be possible, but there's really no reason not to burn your flash there if you know Poppy's gonna catch up.
Yeah, and Poppy Heroic Charge is something that's relatively difficult to flash because the second Poppy comes into contact with your champion, you still have a little bit of time to move, I guess, until you're finally stunned against the wall. But during that entire duration, you're technically stunned, so you can't flash. You have to flash before Poppy contacts you.
Yeah, that is something that's also possible with the All-Star headbutt, but definitely difficult as well. Also, if you flash to not far enough away, you could still get hit with the Pulverize if he follows up with a combo. So sometimes that could be unfortunate. Notorious Spook still trying to harass a little bit. He did have to actually back, though, and come in with the teleport. Larry Zhang UMD followed suit. Actually, he teleported first. But
And Sax is looking for a gank top lane. He's pinging to go in. He knows it is warded. There's a control ward there, but Notorious Spook is staying.
Yeah, meanwhile, Zach is actually following on the bottom side, so both these side lanes are in a very, really intense battle right now. Rat with a hat is going down. That's going to be 1 kill for James that lets the sub 80 carry. Meanwhile, Larry Zhang and Notorious does get Notorious Spook off the backside. So very equal jungle pressure so far, getting 1 kill on either side. Who do you think that benefits more in this situation?
I'm gonna have to give this to Larry Zhang. Once Malzahar has a solid lead on his lane opponent, it's really hard to really come back from that. The thing is, Malzahar usually doesn't get a solid lead against lane opponents because he really doesn't have any kill pressure until he's 6. So good move there from Sax, deciding to gank top lane. Pretty much once you have Larry Zhang self-sufficient, which he will be after the first kill, he really doesn't need to visit top lane anymore unless he's looking for free kills. So now he can focus on counter ganking and trying to follow this Zac around.
I want to point out a little bit of a nuance here. Larry Zhang did go for that. After the corrupting potion, he bought a dark seal, which is pretty much a purely laning item, but it does have that secret passive that gives you extra unique ability from your healing potions. It increases the healing by 25%. So when you're starting with the corrupting, that definitely helps you out a lot with those triple charges, being able to sustain in lane even longer. And like you were saying, going for that laning item has given him the lead now in part. So both these people starting with that Negatron cloak don't want to see too much damage. Unfortunately, in both those ganks, the kill went to the Poppy and the Janna, which are both pretty suboptimal if you look at who you really want the gold to kind of center around in this game. Looks like Poppy's going to be going for maybe a roundabout game, but looks like Aiguao is going to be getting in the mid lane. I don't know if Poppy's going to be able to respond to enough. She's too busy killing Scuttlecrab because ganked by mom saying, listen man, I got this. You don't even need to come over. I can just walk away from these clowns. And looks like Sax is going to, after getting the Skull Crab, keep going with Notorious Spook. Does get the Keeper's Verdict and a heroic charge into the wall. Notorious Spook is stunned against the wall, followed up by the Nether Grasp on the Malzahar. So very well executed gank there. And you were wondering if the range of the Slicing Maelstrom was long enough. It turns out just barely not against the Malzahar. So meanwhile, gank by mom does pick up a nice kill against that Orianna. The camera got a little confused there. Didn't quite see the initiation of that, but does pick that one up. So that's going to make this lane matchup in the top side super rough for the Kennen. He really just wants to farm it out, hopefully survive for a team fight where he can make a big impact.
Yeah, this is the power of the Larry Zhang cheese. You don't really respect it because you feel like this shouldn't work. Otherwise, people would actually play this. So you play really aggressively. You try to harass them out because it should work, but not if you get ganked over and over, and then you get baited into this terrible matchup where you feel like, you know, This should work, but you're already too far behind now. It's too late to come back.
Yeah, I was actually speaking with Larry Zhang UMD a couple days ago, and he specifically told me that fact. He thinks that he is one of the best player counters against Notorious Spook himself, because Notorious Spook is a player who loves playing aggro, loves shoving in his lane, and he is a player that loves falling back to his turret, using the tower CS to be able to just be able to draw jungle pressure in and come up with easy ganks. So it looks like this is a game plan that they've been planning from the start and that they have been executing well. On the flip side, we saw something similar happen in the mid lane where Gank by Mom had that very aggressive few levels, and Sabotage 27 with his jungler Out did come out with that gank to abuse that early pressure. And looks like that little scouting plant going to be spotting out a couple of these wards, but they're not really in a position to actually be able to contest those. So
you can see there's an early control ward by the red team on the dragon, but there's not really much the blue team can really do to go contest it. It's pretty dangerous to walk all the way around the pit just to kill it. A nice thing I do want to see is how this bot lane dynamic plays out, though. Both bot lanes are level 6 now. So there's a lot more engage potential from Ashe, and it looks like Zach is going to look for the gank. He's trying to sneak into this bush bot lane. Need to clear a couple more minions, and I think right now is when he'll be able to walk in with no vision. I want to see if they initiate this with the Ashe arrow or with the Zach elastic slingshot, or both at the same time. Honestly, the arrow is easier to hit than the slingshot, but they go for the Zach engage first anyways.
Yeah, gets the elastic slingshot, falls up with the let's bounce, and a beautiful monsoon from James LS does knock Lord Patchling into the wall, and that does pick up the kill. The double kill in that bottom side, going to give them a large advantage. Maybe they'll rotate that over to the dragon even. Looks like they're going to be going for that first tower gold buff instead.
Yeah, and after Sax sees that Legual's bot lane, he's desperately looking to be able to pull something off somewhere elsewhere in the map, but Notorious Spook is smarter than that. He knows to play passively now. He knows Sax didn't end up going bot lane, so he has to be looking for a gank mid or top, or be doing nothing by farming his jungle, letting the other team get a lead.
Yeah, good communication by both teams. And also, I do want to point out that even though Team 8 had a pretty good ward line in the enemy jungle, they had a lot of vision around this dragon area and going toward that bottom side. Wow just had such nice map movements to be able to walk through into that lane bush top secret style, being able to bypass a lot of that pretty strong vision coverage. Now they got that double ward in there. You know that that's gonna stay caught up in vision for a while. Caitlyn putting up some traps. I don't know if Team 6 is going to be able to contest this. James LS is skirting the outsides, and Sabotage 27 maybe flirting with the steal, but I don't know if he really wants to get close enough to try.
Yeah, the line of Caitlyn traps is very strong, but they are going to be contesting this. Zach jumps in and tanks one of the traps, but his team doesn't walk past the trap line. It's going to go a quick smite, and Poppy does end up getting the smite. Shockwave from Orianna misses everyone, sadly, and he's going to be chased down, but Wow does get hit with the exhaust. The jungle the Ashe AD carry is still full health. Oh, not full health. I'm saying everything wrong.
And Sax flashes forward, picks up the double kill onto the Ashe. Very importantly, that fight when Zach went in, the elastic slingshot did not hit anyone, and he got caught up in the Caitlyn trap while he was going over, along with Notorious Spook. Even though he got a double stun on the AD carrying support, when he popped the Slicing Maelstrom, nobody was nearby, so he missed out on a lot of that AoE damage. The fight got super spread out, and when you look at a team composition on the blue side that is so focused with a lot of these AoE wombo combos, when you don't get those clutch engages off, it doesn't really help. James LS, meanwhile, gets a little too close to Larry Zhang UMD. Ebb and Flow actually misclicks onto Sax instead of actually healing his teammate, but I don't know if he would have gotten out there since Notorious Spook was really close by anyways.
So sadly, Larry Zhang does lose all of his stacks on his Dark Seals, but that's kind of what happens when you buy Dark Seals and get shut down.
Yeah, that's why it's usually gone for a laning. Well, I say it's usually done for a laning item, but he buys a second one after dying, saying, "All right, listen, man, I lost my stacks, but do I want to pull out now? No, we're doubling up on this gamble. I'm going double or nothing in this." We'll see if that actually works out for him, because that's a lot of gold investment for something that has already been a little bit lackluster in that last fight.
Yeah, it's part of the wonderful mind game that is Larry Zhang. You sit there and go, this shouldn't work, but for some reason it keeps working against you. and he clearly shows the no respect with the double Dark Seal, and you feel like, I should punch some respect into him. I should just, beat him in the 1v1, and then Poppy comes again. And that's pretty much been the story of top lane.
Yeah, we'll see if his crabs are feeling a little extra hungry from the spawn voidling. And they're trying to get a little bit of vision control around this river area. Looks like both teams have a few wards, but Team 6 definitely has a little bit more widespread coverage, although these wards, well, this ward at least is about to expire, so maybe want to think about kind of replacing some of these. I would like to see more control wards in the inventories of these players, but unfortunately they don't really have them. They're also about to hit level 9, so we'll see if they kind of swap over to those upgraded trinkets. That's something we see a lot in the lower bracket. I know you love to comment on, Richard, but make sure you upgrade your wards at level 9, everyone.
Yeah, upgrade that trinket. It's completely free.
Rat with a Hat taking a little bit of abuse, but does land the 90 caliber net. Gonna be pushing jungle with Lee Sin only a little bit back. And so far in this bottom lane, looks like blue team is coming out slightly ahead. They do have that 20 CS gold lead. Looks like the gold difference is about 1,000, just because were able to get that first turret bonus, and I don't remember who exactly got first blood. It was the blue team in the mid lane. But yeah, they were able to get that turret bonus, so even helping out a little bit to exacerbate that lead just a tad. Looks like Larry Zhang UMD just going to be going back to the top lane. Everyone's calming down a little bit.
Yeah, when it's calm, it's the best time to talk about items. All right, so Caitlyn went for the Zeal after flat AD. Okay, never mind. We'll pause on items for now. Ganked by Mom is looking for a top lane. Larry Zhang does go into the suppression.
Yeah, Nethergrass gonna land. Notorious Spook does get that stun off, though. Is he gonna be able to escape? No, the Malefic Vision's doing enough damage, and a good Orb of Deception from the Ahri gonna be helping to pick that one up. A good rotation to get that kill by the Ahri, but that's gonna force a teleport out by Malzahar to try to keep their outer mid lane turret up, and that will dissuade the enemy team from continuing this push pressure. We'll see if Ganked by Mom is going to continue to try to get this top side.
Yeah, the Rift Herald is an objective that is available right now. I honestly think one of the teams should probably go for it, especially a team that values split pushing. I'm pretty sure Larry Zhang will attempt to split push the majority of the game, but
that's generally his MO. Yeah. He's got that Singe, that Karthus, two champions that love to split push, and especially with Karthus, if you're split pushing, you can still contribute in a significant way to the team fights via the Requiem. So I'm surprised he didn't go for that Karthus, but he's been really making this Malzahar work out with that Nether Grasp, definitely securing a lot of these kills.
Yeah, he's just enabling as many ganks as possible, which is generally better on a mid laner, because then you have the option to roam as well, but he's making it work top lane by drawing Poppy top constantly. So Aiguao has very smartly focused the bot lane, however he hasn't been able to snowball as hard.
Yeah, and Sax trying to muscle his way in here. They throw down a blue trinket, and it gets cleared out real quick. He's just going to take a little bit of punishment. Nothing he can't chug off with the remainder of his refillable potion, however. Ashe going to be shoving out this bottom side and maybe rotating up to try to take down this mid turret again. Meanwhile, on the other side, Rat with a Hat and Lord Passion have actually joined their top laner to maybe try to siege down this turret, and blue team is responding with the Zac Cannon possible counter engage. Looks like red team is the wiser, and they're gonna back off just a tad.
And meanwhile, one support has reached level 9, so we should be seeing the upgraded trinket when they recall. They're recalling right now.
Oh man!
Watching the item screen. Are they gonna get it?
Nope.
He's still in base. We're waiting. We're waiting.
And they got it.
Woo!
Oracle's
there
alteration. Thank you.
They've gotten that lens. He also has an extra control ward in his inventory. Shout out to Notorious Spook, also getting a... oh wait, no, that's a potion. That's not a control ward. He has no vision contribution right now, other than that one ward in the top side. But looks like they are going to be starting this Infernal Drake. A little bit of poor planning by the blue side. They backed right when it was about to spawn, so that gave complete control over to the enemy side. Last time we saw Poppy teleport in a little bit late, but they do have a spot. Maybe she could have gone in if she really wanted to. I mean, the Cannon, sorry, if he really wanted to teleport in there.
Yeah, it looks like the other team realizes that they are a little weak compared to teammate, or is it teammate. However, they do have the AoE Wombo comp, so whenever teams are busy sieging or taking objectives like Dragon, they generally are grouped relatively close together, so there's a high potential for a flanking Wombo comp to be extremely effective. So I'm a little surprised they didn't go for it since he did have that teleport up, but trading for a top lane tower they didn't even get, definitely not worth it in the end.
Yeah, it looks like James LS was trying to ward here, but gets caught out by Sax, and the tidal wave does follow up. Looks like Jungle Lee Sin only does actually kill Caitlyn, I suppose, with the, oh my gosh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow. There's a lot of chaos going around in this entire bot side, but it looks like they do trade 2 for 1 in the end with an advantage going to that Team 8. Very chaotic there. Everyone except that AD carry 1v1 did come out in favor of Team 8's team. However, Larry Zhang UMD, the quintessential split pusher, going to be grabbing his first tower right now. The teleport was used by Notorious Spook in that last fight, so that will be on cooldown for a little while Larry Zhang's will be coming up pretty shortly.
Yep. Also, that Poppy is just getting monstrous right now. Again, against a team of almost all APs and then an Ashe, he's able to stack AP or MR resists continuously, Spirit Visage, and the Merc Treads coming out, as well as the Cinder Hulk as his jungle item. And now he has a Sheen. I'm interested to see if this comes out as an Iceborne Gauntlet or as a Trinity Force, considering how far ahead he is right now. Honestly, don't think Trinity Force is that bad of an idea. However, he is the only tank on his team, so he has to be very careful as to what he ends up building.
Yeah, it's interesting that Malzahar, even though he started with that double Dark Seal into Negatron, he actually went and his first item built was the Morellonomicon. So just wanted to get those lane stats, but now he's happy to get some of those Grievous Wounds out onto the Zac and his friends.
Yeah, and on a small side note that also makes me extremely happy, Nami did recall after getting level 9 and bought the Oracle's Alteration.
You've been keeping your eye on that this entire time. Notorious Spook pops all of his cooldowns, and Larry Zhang UMD gets engaged on with the Ashe off the backside. The rest of blue team is already on this top turret. This could just be going down with no contest.
Yeah, sadly, Caitlyn is a little slow at rotating right now because Caitlyn doesn't have boots yet. Which is very odd.
Stuck in that mid lane. Doesn't even have the level 1 boots. They did already use the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so they don't have the Premier engage. They do, however, still have Out. Very nice and healthy. He's got that refillable potion. Doesn't quite have the Spirit Visage yet to increase its effectiveness, but will be healing up just enough as the Zac.
Red team is pinging a ward in lane. It looks like they might want Larry Zhang to possibly teleport in from behind.
Yeah, and the ward just died, so they kind of lost their possible opportunity there for that teleport. They could always send Sax in and just teleport in the middle of the fight, but look at that dissonance damage off the Orianna. Really hurt.
GBM picking up those fruits, but he has Grievous Wound on him. They're half as effective, but I guess there are a bunch of fruits around him, so it's okay in the end.
Such a waste of food, man. Didn't his parents ever tell him they need to save everything that he earns?
Yeah, he should know. He gets ganked by mom all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he should be learning his lessons. I mean, a little bit disappointing there, to say the least. Looks like red team have pretty good vision control around the mid lane. Whereas blue side really don't have any wards except for that random spot in the inner turret top side. They are going to be starting a Baron here, and there is vision from this one sneaky ward off the backside. Looks like the tidal wave is going to be going out to try to scare Sabotage 27 away. Here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Sabotage does juke the charm. Larry Zhang UMD is the only person caught out with the shockwave. The other grass going to come out, so they do get the Baron Asher. Jungle Lee Sin only is going to be picking up 1 kill. Meanwhile, the rest of the red team are chasing the Kennen. Sax is now legendary on this jungle Poppy. What a pick in the first game of this finals.
And they're still looking for the engage. Jumps back in.
Yeah, Notorious Spook gets the instant burst into a kill with the Abyssal Scepter. Magic Resist the reduction. But here comes Out. He's going to try to waddle away from Rat with a hat. That's trading another 1-for-1 kill. But honestly, for the blue side, losing their wave clear with Notorious Spook might be kind of dicey going forward. We'll see if red team tries to continue to siege this mid lane tower now that they have Caitlyn coming in. Sax is just going to be diving the turret. He is so healthy and letting Rat with a hat pick up the final one. This is like his 5th tower shot he's taken, and he's barely below half health. So Poppy definitely impressing us impressing me at least. A good steadfast presence also saves his AD carry even in that. Meanwhile, the teleport from Larry Zhang UMD onto that minion, keeping it immune so they can get more siege damage out. Really well played by the red team so far. It looks like they do get that turret. They're going to be rotating bot side. I'd like to see them put some wards around here. They do have one near that mid lane tower, or debris of it at least. Sax is trying to get Igawao off of this Janna, or off of this Nami, and here comes the Nethergrass. I'm not really sure what Igawao's doing because the rest of his team was not there to follow up, and the Cell Division does get popped. Sax is not scared at all, just jumps into the enemy, gets hit up with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow though, and will go down. Ganked by Mom, a good charm landing. That's going to be Rat with a Hat trying to finish the rest of these kills now that he's in the bush, getting the extra procs off his headshot passive, but that will be the front line for blue side going down. Orianna doing some major work on the backside, trying to keep his team alive. Not sure if that's going to work out. It looks like they will be low enough to back off, saying, listen, we already got a tower mid. We got several kills. We're up a lot of gold now. They swung the gold back into their favor. Now they're ahead by 2,000. The Elf Dragon's up. Are they actually going to be going for this?
This is kind of a greedy play. If the blue team does realize this, they definitely should go contest. Rat with the Hat is almost completely dead, has no boots to dodge anything. Will probably get hit by everything. Luckily, they don't get engaged on. They end up sweeping their own jungle with the vision bush or plant, if I saw that correctly.
Yeah, went over here. Maybe was scared of a little bit of cannon teleport. This cooldown is up, but he's just going to be going to this mid lane, and
Boots
they
finally.
might have... You're so happy Caitlyn finally got those boots. She can walk around now, doesn't have to be caught in the back every
But on
time.
a side note, AD carries generally want to be carrying that Scrying Orb trinket, especially Caitlyn's. There's so many fights where you can win by getting that vision for your ultimate, but if you don't have the Scrying Orb, you can't get the vision if they flash over a bush or something like that. So definitely want to see both AD carries change trinkets.
Yeah, and even though in the past few minutes we've seen so much dominance from Team 8 in a few of these fights and rotations, that doesn't mean that Team 6 is out of this game by any means. The gold lead is only 2,000 right here, and once the Baron buff starts to wear off, it should only be a little while longer before it runs out.
Yeah, and there's only so much carrying a Poppy can do. When a Poppy gets ahead early game, she gets tanky and enables her team to gank. But if she has all the kills, she might not necessarily be able to have the damage.
James Ellis gets caught out there and actually playing a dangerous game there, not backing off from any of those Caitlyn autos because wanting to get the Poppy or the Kennen in to help her out. Does take a little damage. That Ash arrow not landing quite ideally. Looks like Igawao is going to be using the Elastic Slingshot to engage here. However, Steadfast Presence does block that again, so... Really nice play so far from Sax. Charm actually misses against the enemy team, and Notorious Spook going to be going down, but a great shockwave onto Gang by Mom does finish him up. Sabotage 27 going to try to auto with the Clockwork Wind him, and a double stun from Notorious Spook. Gets exhausted, gets burst down by the Caitlyn. I don't know if Sax can do enough damage by himself here. Rat with a Hat finding the enemy AD carry on the backside. Warlord's Bloodhounds trying to keep him alive, and the ace in the hole will pick up that kill. This could be red team turning it around again. But Sabotage getting a third kill in this fight. Nethergrass finally coming out from Larry Zhang UMD, just going to be cleaning this up for his team. That's going to be the ace, and with death timers at 30 to 40 seconds here, this is definitely going to be an inhibitor, maybe more.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're probably going to get this mid lane tower, the inhibitor as well, and possibly rotate to the top lane after. They do have a blue buff to steal at the end as well. So they have several options to go for here. Baron buff is spawning in 2 minutes, so that's not exactly urgent enough for them to want to recall immediately in case the other team tries to counter Baron. So they definitely should go for this inhibitor and possibly their blue buff as well.
Sax looks like he's dancing there, giving a little bit of BM. We saw a little bit of trash talk before the game, them calling each other dumb and kind of ugly sometimes. Looks like Keeper's Verdict actually gets out of range, so James LS might be trying to throw out his Zephyr and slow down the enemy team. He does get stunned up by Sax, so he think he might be going down. Gang by Mom, meanwhile, gets a great charm onto Lee Sin, only he's going to be falling down as well. Good command dissonance, popping him to half health, but if you have two of your characters already dead, one good command dissonance is not going to win you the fight, and the Nethergrass followed up by a perfect Aqua Prison, chaining that CC together, giving him no possibility of escape. That's going to be another kill onto the Kennen. Looks like Igawao's the only one left on his team that can do anything. Sax might go down to the fountain damage, actually, but this is going to be the rest of the game for Team 8 so far. Zach gonna try to come in. Poppy's not there to save him. Actually, a 4-man knockup. Gotta give Out props with a good aim at least. Now it's just Jana versus the world here. Jumps in with that monsoon, trying to delay them as much as possible. Zach could have gotten a triple kill there, but a good Steadfast Presence does block him off, and Ash gets 1 kill. Are they gonna be able to save the base? Sax gets the very last second shield. It's not gonna be enough. All they need is one more auto attack. That is going to be the game for Team 8. Good split push and good fight turnarounds.
Woo. What an end.
Pretty dang exciting here for the finals to start off. Oh man, time to update the score sheet. That was a pretty good performance from the 8th team. If you had to pick an MVP for that game, who do you think you would give it to?
Gonna have to give it to the Jungle Poppy on Sax. That was some monstrous early game snowballing. Ended up getting all the kills, so he put on his carry pants and ended up
doing the most damage in the game as well.
Yeah, doing the most damage on the team as a tank Poppy clearly shows how much participation he has in his team, pretty much. So does he have the highest kill participation on his team? I would imagine so, for him to have the highest damage.
He has 18 kill participation out of
so
26.
Nami actually has a little bit higher, but the point stands. Poppy was everywhere, doing everything, enabling his team to do work. So I'm gonna have to give MVP to Poppy on this one.
Yeah, we just didn't really see super clean engages from the blue side. I mean, when you have the AoE wombo comp, you need to make sure that your Zach and your Kennen are on the same page when you get into these team fights. We saw Igawao once or twice go in kind of alone. Notorious Spook sometimes would pop his ultimate when there wasn't anybody around him, or come in a little bit late to the fight. And Larry Zhang UMD was almost always just coming in to clean up, even if it looked like his team had lost the fight already. So well played by the red side. We'll see if I don't know who this is. Maybe somebody invite him to the UMCP club, I guess. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a break right now, if they're ready to just jump into the next one ASAP.
Well, since we are spectating, they have had at least 3 minutes to take a small break, so
Yeah.
we'll see what ends up happening.
Alright, looks like somebody is going to be switching computers. We might have a minute or two to relax, talk about what we saw.
Hey, keep that hate symbol out of the chat.
We don't need any of these Pepes. Who is this Dare? We should ban her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Rita pointing out Poppy equals Zach counter. Definitely well played there on the red side. Sax showing a lot of proficiency with that champion. And, yeah, Poppy jungle isn't something I'd ever seen. So I'm really impressed that he really seems to have a lot of those kind of the limits, how much you can go in. He only had 2 deaths that entire game, even though he took the most damage on his team. That always shows that you have a lot of comfort with the champion. You know your limits, when you need to back out versus when you can actually tank a lot. But yeah, looks like I wonder if they're gonna bring that into the second game, or do you think it merits a ban?
I'm not sure if it merits a ban. I think it just means you don't pick the Zac into it. So the main reason it's so strong is that it counters Zac. But they made it work on many, many different levels as well. But I don't think that he has much priority on the Poppy. I think he has way more potential to carry on something else that he plays. It's way more dangerous.
Yeah, and going back to the bans, Team 6 banned out the Singed, LeBlanc, and the Graves last time. When we played against Team 8, the Graves definitely tore us a new one, so I think that's a pretty respectable ban. And the Singed is always a champion that's super hard to deal with, especially if the enemy is comfortable with them. But the only thing I might see them change up is maybe the LeBlanc ban, because Sabotage 27 did pretty well in that mid lane. He had some jungle pressure to help him out, but he held his own, got that early CS lead in the beginning of the game. The question is, does he feel comfortable enough to really play against something like the LeBlanc?
Not shooting.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, Grease? Okay.
just typing some of that out there, telling them to invite Agrius. For those of you that don't know who maybe...
Agrius is our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, he actually founded the club back in 2012. He's the reason why all this is happening. Works at Capital One right now. Pretty much organized this whole thing. So, shout out to our boy Andrew Agrius Gao, our hookup with Capital One, founder of the club. How's it going?
If you're comp
Pretty
sci,
good.
you want a job.
What do you think about that Poppy jungle?
I think he's too tanky.
Yeah, Courage of the Colossus was definitely super strong. And Poppy already gets the shield from her passive. Pretty impressive stuff. Are there any... What's your favorite champion? Do you think they want to... You think they should bring
They should
it
put
out?
some Azir in there. just for-
Azir?
just for-
Shout out to Shurima. The...
Sabotage is known for playing Azir.
Oh, really?
He was.
Sabotage did used to main Azir. I don't think he plays it anymore. But I would be very excited to see that. If we see that picked up, I might have to give a bit of a Azir Shurima.
Shuffle.
Yeah, get that shuffle in with the shifting sands. Super nice to see.
In terms of the player cam requests, sorry, we can't do that. The players are on different rooms, on different floors.
Of the Capital One office, so
Yeah, we don't
be
exactly
a little
have.
difficult.
You had one pick from the winner.
Oh, you have a picture.
Oh, we have.
You guys can show it.
We'll put it in front of the webcam.
But,
We'll try it
these
out.
are winners.
Oh, jeez. All right, these are our winners of game 1.
They're all dabbing in sync. Nice job. After the whole series is over, we can bring them into this room and kind of talk to them, see how they feel, give them some rewards and stuff. Yeah, it looks like after the first game, they're dabbing away. Gotta get that. Shout out to Aframu and Huhi bringing the dab to the LCS MSI stage earlier this year.
Someone's looking for a 1.5 gig flash drive?
11.5 gig flash
I
drive.
believe I have a 64 on me. Let me check.
Not entirely sure why they want they can dab, but I can't be mod.
Yeah, I have a 64 gig on me. What do they need it for? Okay. We're just organizing something. So what, they need it for something? They can use mine.
Where's the...
I don't know. Someone needs a flash drive for something? You can respond. I have one.
Alright, so looks like we're gonna be getting big storage flash drive up there. Maybe they're
I don't know what they need
maybe
it for.
maybe they're just trying to, you know,
Switch computers or
calm down, look at some download,
I don't know what room they're in.
stream
sorry.
some movies, torrent some stuff.
Team. I don't know what floor. Team 6 though.
Team 6 is, I believe, on the 8th.
Oh, they want to avoid patching.
Or flash
Yeah, they
drive,
use my
either
computer.
works.
Okay, I guess we can do that then.
Just to avoid patching for an hour.
Was my computer too laggy? Is that why?
Oh, somebody might be switching computers.
So we're
Looks
turning off
like,
mine again, or we have a different
So yeah,
computer?
we might have a little bit of time.
No, it just wasn't live.
Icon Sunji-ish. Yeah, everyone except
oh.
Sax actually has that icon. I don't know if they're admitting Sax as their Lord and Savior, because he's just like the golden boy kind of sitting there in the palm of that hand, but everyone else is kind of like a nice little sapling. We'll see if they can get enough farm and feed to grow into a blossoming tree. But so far they're just baby saplings, little trees. We'll see if it goes down. I need to close Facebook. I think I got a message or two during that game, and so sorry if I baited any of you into thinking that you had friends that were messaging you. Surprise to me, I thought I didn't have any friends, but apparently just popular enough to get a single message during the live stream, because that's always the best time to get it. Can Wgong bring his laptop upstairs?
I believe. I mean, Agrius is bringing his, so we should
Okay.
not need it for now.
Also, my laptop. Friend and me. It's another computer.
Did you want to hook up your laptop to the projector?
I could.
All right, yeah.
Woo!
Wow, look at that double lift. Lift hay.
Wow. Julia with double lift icons and emotes.
Sadly, there's no Hey Girls, because Rita and Dade. But,
Do you need another laptop?
No.
What's up?
I need my badge.
Oh, true.
I'll be up there in a bit.
Yeah, we'll see if they're plotting anything super spicy.
See if these teams adapt to each other's play styles. However, honestly, those team fights were pretty messy. It's good that Team 8 had the disengage and the peel. They sort of danced around team fights, not letting Team 6 hit a great AoE engage. That's what let them survive and win all these team fights.
Yeah, do you think the Janna first pick was worth? Because you talked about how effective it is as a counter against the Zac, and we actually saw that happen in the lower bracket where they picked the Janna and were able to kind of block off one of the elastic slingshots. But they just kind of grabbed the Poppy instead and were able to use that to basically the same effect.
Yeah, it's... I'm not sure. I honestly don't think that the Zac will be picked again, but it's definitely a possibility since this is only a best of 3. So if it was a best of 5, I think they'd definitely try it again, but since there is not that much time to really rethink your strategy, they're probably just going to go for something different entirely.
Yeah, I do think that banning the trying to get rid of that Poppy, or maybe trying to play around it. We saw that Poppy actually got that early level 1 steal, which helped out a lot. Maybe playing a little bit more aggressive in the jungle. See if maybe they can do some things to try to shut him out a little, but if he goes for that Poppy again, it'd be kind of difficult since she's not really a champion that's feast or famine. She can kind of just show up with a heroic charge, get that cock, and then cock being Courage of the Colossus shield. And it'd be able to tank everything. I mean, I don't know about you, but I block things with my cock all the time.
No comment. This is a wonderful, clean, educational stream.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Alistar, going with the combo, and they can't harass me at all with the shield it gives.
Can't milk
Percent
those.
damage health. Percent max health. Poppy jungle is meta. So, Sax saying, listen, I'm creating the meta. Oh my gosh. Alright. Sax needs to... You need to win one more game. Then he'd have 1, 3, 3, 7 wins, which is pretty cool.
Oh. I don't believe that... Do custom games count?
I don't think so. They count in your win-loss record. At like the end game screen, your win-loss record will show up, but I don't think it actually adds or takes away from that. So, if he does get, maybe he can get a quick normal game in before we get into game 2. Try to bump that up real quick. Get an FF at 20.
Yeah, but sadly that means that this is the end of his league career because he simply cannot play any more games that he can win in anymore.
Dang.
So either has to lose every single game from now on or just not play.
All right. Well, what better way to end your league career with a major tournament victory? Being able to get that Triumph for Rise, saying, "Listen, I'm the best jungler in this tournament."
You're saying he's gonna jungle Rise next time?
I mean,
Honestly, doable. Once you have a good amount of flat AP, you put that spell flux in a little chicken and then Q it, have it kill all the chickens at once.
Extra overload.
I think
much
it
damage.
has the potential to be viable.
They need to make an Infinity Edge for spells.
Larry Zhang, you're tasked with figuring that out since you love playing APs in weird ways.
in
if you're
weird ways.
listening.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be listening.
Yeah, if you are listening, shame on you. Where's your referee?
Yeah, second of all, if you're not, Larry, play Rise. Not. Yeah, GBM saying only one not representing the clan. It looks like it's not a team plan thing. They're not all revolving around their one savior, Sax. But he's just a rebel. Just kind of going where he pleases. Maybe, alright, I think I understand what's going on. His whole team has that plant icon, but he's so fed up with the new jungle, if he sees another plant, he's gonna lose it. Like, oh my gosh. I'm so tired of these goddamn plants.
But he did get saved by that blasting plant that one game, that one time.
Yeah, that's definitely. And shout out to Sabotage27. He's actually rocking that Shurima icon. We did. He was the former Azir main in the mid. I don't think Azir is probably what you want to pick here, seeing as he's pretty weak right now, and especially against one of the most aggressive mid laners in the club. You probably don't want to be playing the extremely squishy late game one.
Yeah, honestly, against GBM, you just gotta play safe, farm safe, and let him beat himself. Sadly, that didn't happen this game.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll see something changed up a little bit next time.
Yeah, so GBM's early laning phase is questionable, but once he hits that late game, he knows when to go in. He'll get those charms when you need them, and that's what ended up happening to seal out the game.
Looks like Notorious Spook has played 6 ranked games this season.
So has GBM, and they both placed Plat 1.
Wow,
And so
there
did
you go.
IGWow, so it makes me feel like they all flex queued together.
Maybe some inside collusion going on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to scan all their
Ganked by Mom.
Facebook messages after this game to make sure they
yeah.
are match fixing.
Yeah. Ganked by Mom trying to get some of that secret insider info, playing with Aigu and Notorious Spook. You know, you could like change your name and then queue up with them, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this is Sabotage27." Then, but secretly, he actually changed the T to an L, so it's actually Sabolage27. Then you could change it back, be like, "All right, got the insider intel."
This is also a
good to
quick
go.
reminder that ELO is temporary, but GPA is forever. So for those of you busy playing games who should be doing a little bit of studying, now's a good time to get some work done, get some final papers, final projects. It's just a break right now. Just, you know, make sure that you do school first, because you're in school to do school, not play in the UMD League tournament or organize tournaments for them.
Yeah, our club president saying that's rich from you, Richard.
Hey,
This
do,
man,
do as I say, not as I do.
this man. How many classes did you attend your final semester?
Don't worry about it. I'm a proudly employed government employee.
Listen, kids, go to class.
Go to class.
Do your homework.
Yeah,
It's
go to
going-
class and do your homework.
All right, going to class is actually the easiest way to get an A in any college course. I myself was pretty studious, but I'm no longer in school, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Till next year, then I get to start my like a 6-7 year PhD program.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right, more 5-6, but probably 6 years. It's a fun time. So if everything goes according to plan, I could finish school when I'm like 28. That sounds lovely. But most PhD programs, because you need to spend 2 years to get your master's, and then you spend the 4 years on your dissertation. So.
And yes, Nathan, that is correct. Degrees C is a unit for temperature, known as Celsius.
Hello.
And C's
Alright.
also do get degrees. However, C degrees is Celsius.
C's get you degrees, but when you're interviewing for a job, it's a lot better to be like, yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. For those calculating your last-minute grades, if it's not a major requirement, then a D will actually let you pass. And if it is a major requirement, then C's will let you. Or
Yeah.
you have to get at least a C to pass.
Just keep
But you
track
should-
of how it'll affect your GPA, because sometimes if you like, some programs have like GPA requirements, especially if you're in like an LEP major, something like that. But looks like we have our 10th player in this lobby.
Yeah, and if your GPA is terrible, there is hope for you. My GPA was pretty terrible going through school, but if you put yourself out there, go to info sessions, go to job fairs, and you need to pretty much convey that my GPA doesn't represent me. There's more to me as a person than... Yeah, your ELO doesn't say it, so I just walked up, I said, hey, I'm Diamond in League of Legends, I said, you're hired.
Heavy breathing. Wait, really? But yeah, looks like we're in a pick ban. Let me get the spoiler bans up so there's no secret. Oh, whoops, that was. All right, disable the client for a second, but we are good to go.
Looks like the bans are coming out much slower than last time.
Or at least the first one. They do take away that GP. back from, looks like that was Team 8 banning away the Gangplank. Alright, you swapped them when you wrote them down. Alright, sorry about that. We're just trying to keep track of everything.
The bans are so far exactly the same.
Yeah.
The Gangplank,
Scared of the
Hecarim.
Singed Hecarim, Gangplank. Gangplank and Singed, not surprised at all. Those are the main comfort champions for two of these players. And Hecarim, obviously a very strong jungler in terms of being able to have that gank pressure.
Yep, the LeBlanc ban again, same as last time, and the Rek'Sai ban again, same as
Wow,
last
so-
time. So all we need is a Graves ban, and the bans will have been exactly the same as last game.
Honestly, I think a Gravesman might even be worth it. He was super strong on that champion earlier in this tournament. He knows how to abuse advantages, being able to pick fights that he knows he can shove into the enemy's face and just win through sheer force. There's the Graves.
And the Graves ban, yep, no
Looks-
cigar.
Looks like the red team right now is spelling out SLG, which is the not as well-known team, Sounterlogic Gaming. They
Ah.
didn't make it into the LCS, so people don't really know them, but it looks like this is the exact same as last time, even though they're on opposite sides. Janna
Yeah.
first pick.
Janna first pick by GBM this time. Looks like they want to give it over to Lord Patchling. I'd love to see if these teams pick the exact other team.
That would be pretty hilarious.
That'd be
We
a
did
great-
actually see the blue team come ahead in the bottom lane out of the laning phase. Part of that was due to some of the Zac pressure, but Janna definitely being a contributor there, so
Yeah.
did have value in the last game. Maybe wanting to hide some of their solo lane picks before they have to commit to anything.
And here comes the Caitlyn. Oh boy.
So far, exactly the same.
Oh, but a
this-
Thresh.
All right. We'll
Not
see.
a Nami.
We'll see if James LS can land those death sentences. That'll be pretty exciting. Obviously, against a Janna, if you're hooking the AD carry, she can interrupt you with either the Howling Gale or the Monsoon, so it can get a little bit dicey if you're Thresh. You can always... Oh man, that's a pick for my heart. Aatrox being my favorite champion personally. I've ranked 6 so far, not quite ranked 7. I just don't play top lane very often. But Sax hovering that Poppy, maybe giving some PTSD to the enemy side.
Yeah, that Poppy was definitely extremely threatening last game, and Poppy's pretty decent against Thresh. You can stop his re-engagement on Death Sentence, but not exactly a hard counter in any way.
Looks like they're actually going to swap over, not picking the Poppy straight up, just more comfortable grabbing the Malzahar and the Vayne.
Yeah, so the bot lane matchups have been cemented, unless that's a weird Larry Zhang sort of Vayne. I don't know. But it's most likely going to be Vayne, Janna bot lane against Caitlyn Thresh. It's a lot of pressure on the Vayne to position well, not get hit and harassed out of lane. But luckily, Janna's really good at helping with that too. So eventually, the Vayne will definitely outscale the Caitlyn. So it looks like they're going for that sort of ticking time bomb sort of play style.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's kind of dangerous to pick Vayne early, but because the bottom lane was already cemented in for the red team, he knows what he's going against. I guess with the Janna, he feels comfortable going into that Caitlyn matchup. He can always tumble to get out of the Thresh hooks, and also a lot of people would be scared about first picking Vayne before you see what the enemy mid laner is, especially with a lot of bursts, a lot of assassins coming through. But if Sabotage 27 usually plays these like more passive control mages, it's a lot more difficult for him to instantly delete and punish the very low health Vayne.
Yeah, Sabotage 27 swapping to the
picks.
Vel'koz at the last minute, as well as a Jace on Notorious Spook. That's a lot of poke, but a very squishy team. So I see that Zed and Kha'Zix being hovered, and Kha'Zix actually locked in. I know Sax is a beast on this Kha'Zix. This is definitely something to watch out for.
Holy cow. And it looks like they're actually hovering the Zed. Normally you'd be afraid of having a full AD team, but if you have that Malzahar maybe swapping to the top side, that does give you that flexibility to do something wacky like that.
This shouldn't work.
This
But
shouldn't
wait,
work.
There's Larry Zed.
There he is! Oh boy, here comes that Larry Zhang coming in to meme and win the championship, possibly. And red team has a lot of long-range poke in addition just to the strong burst damage they can get from the Jace Vel'koz. They do have so much range with the Plasma Fission. You even have that Caitlyn getting some auto zone control with her traps. And then Jace going through with that Acceleration Gate and the Shock Blast. Definitely gonna force blue team.
Wait, is that the Lucian mid? I think it has to be the Lucian mid coming out from GBM.
Alright, so I have heard legends C9 Hai's balls. Legends about the Ardent Blaze Max AP Lucian mid. You throw out that star, get some damage, grab something like the Gnasher's Tooth, which will get, or not the Gnasher's Tooth, but yeah, the Gnasher's Tooth, get that ability power on your auto attacks, get that double proc with your Light Slinger. We'll see how he does in this matchup. I don't think I've ever seen a Lucian versus Vel'koz mid lane.
I've seen plenty of AD Lucians mid, and I think it's going to be the AD Lucian mid, not the AP Lucian. They already have that Larry Zhang in the top lane, so
it's going to be interesting. They're still swapping their champions around, trying to mind game the enemy team. We saw this last time as well, except this time you really don't know what's going to come out. So far, Larry Zhang UMD is hovering that Malzahar, and he was their top laner last game, so we can try to assume that maybe he's the one going to be playing it. But Rat with a Hat and Gank by Mom, right now, it looks like it's going to be Lucian mid and Vayne bottom lane. Obviously, you don't really want to go Vayne against Vel'koz. That just the range discrepancy alone makes it really easy for Vel'koz to punish you. But I don't know, we could see something like crazy like that happen.
yeah, Lucian with Ignite against Vel'koz of Heal. This should be a very interesting matchup in the mid lane.
And Reno Mitsu saying Lucian top, Huni incoming. Not sure if they'll bring it up there. Looks like they actually have started to get into loading. We can take off the spoilers and reveal. It will be the Lucian mid. He's running Ignite. I'm really curious to see actually what his summoners are.
Yeah, and Sabotage switching to the Ghost in the end. I like that a lot. You're definitely gonna need a lot of mobility to navigate through these team fights.
All right. I'm not entirely sure how this top lane matchup goes out in between the Malzahar and the Jace. Do you have any idea how that might go down without jungle pressure?
Malzahar against Jace. I believe Jace is squishy enough to still die to an all-in at level 6, but I think before then, Jace definitely has way more kill pressure.
I do want to point out to everybody in the stream, Lucian right now is running 9 magic penetration, 1% CDR per level, flat armor, and cooldown, and flat ability power runes. Going for extra increased ability damage in his masteries.
Thunderlords as his
He's
keystone.
he's looking to bop some fools.
So that
We'll
is
see.
the AP Lucian.
We'll see if the fool this game is Vel'koz or if he's playing himself here. Obviously, that culling does give you enough range to kind of match some of that Vel'koz poke, but
I'm guessing
know if
he's
he can-
going for poke against poke, so the W's range is pretty large, and against a team like Jason Vel'koz, it probably will do some good damage to the front line. So
yeah. Also want to point out that obviously Vel'koz has a lot of this long range. He has a bunch of CC into burst, but you still have to land that first. All of Vel'koz's abilities are skill shots. So Lucian, with the Relentless Pursuit, is going to have the ability to outplay Vel'koz if Gank by Mom is comfortable enough on this champion to really kind of just force Sabotage 27 into a losing matchup.
yeah, so GBM's gonna have to work on that CS in the mid lane, but now he is playing an AD carry, so auto attack is a little faster. Hopefully he doesn't miss anything.
Looks like we'll be getting into game in 1 minute. There looks like on the dashboard the stream might be frozen for a second. All right, looks like it's back to normal. Hopefully it'll be good throughout the game, but I'm also really excited to see if James LS can play this Thresh at a proficient level, because I don't think I've seen him play Thresh before. I'm not sure if he's played it before in this tournament. I know he plays a lot of long-range mage supports in general, but maybe he's been practicing to pull this one out.
Yeah, Thresh is technically long range, but he plays more like a melee support. So it's
Kaleong in chat saying, I have bad memories of the solution mid. You know, he's one-shot me with that W. So, looks like we're going to get into the pick ban. I want to point out, my good friend, the team with 5 skins got the 1-0 lead. Are we going to see the repeat for the skin wars?
I like to believe that League of Legends is not a pay-to-win game. However, since the release of Super Galaxy Rumble and the new Lux skins, I'm starting to feel the other way every once in a while.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll see if I swear when I'm against the Guardian Lux, the one that's like all steelified, her abilities are a little harder to notice. But looks
And
like
Sax, no skin, ruining
Oh my gosh. They could have had the 10 skin perfect series opportunity, but just not coming through for his team. I don't know what he's thinking here, going with this original ugly base Kha'Zix. Jacqueline shaking her head at me, co-president, saying, man, how is this kid in our club? Not even repping some kind of cool outfit. But we do have Arclight Vel'koz, Forsaken Jace Championship Fish. I think Red Side actually has cooler skins, even though they have fewer.
Yeah, and the pink Zac. It just says Zac Sweet for now, but it is the Zac Chroma.
I'm also a little surprised that Jace is going for Thunderlord's Decree, not something like the no pause. But there's a pause. Looks like somebody had to go to the bathroom again. I'm actually not sure if
Oh, fine.
bathroom break. I'm not sure what the actual reason is. They might just be memeing in the chat saying, oh, I misclicked. But I have seen GBM play this AP Lucian mid before, so I don't think this is actually a misclick. And they would have messaged us or restarted the lobby if they accidentally locked that in. So they're just kind of trolling with the team in the chat so far. We'll just have to wait for them to go to the bathroom. You know, you'd think after dozens and dozens of games, one of them or somebody, they would all learn, oh, maybe during like the break I could go to the bathroom instead of starting the game, getting us all hyped up and having to pause the stream. I also want to point out that Team 6 this game is a lot quicker on their fingers. They've got 2 of their members already have their items.
3, actually.
Yeah, Rat with a Hat has not gotten his yet. He never actually bought that potion before the lane phase. We actually saw him fall behind in lane. So that might have been a contributing factor that if he didn't have that potion at the start. Looks like they are going to start back. This is the Game 2 of the Capital One Circuit Grand Finals between Team 8 and Team 6. So far, we do have Team 8 in the lead 1-0 here. We'll see if they can close it out in this second game with their off the back of their jungler Sax, who had an amazing game 1 performance. But in the top lane, to kind of name out these fantastic players so far, Larry Zhang UMD repping that Malzahar for the second game in a row. Looks like it wasn't a big enough threat for them to ban out, and actually they're going for an invade here. Looks like they are going to spot Vayne, and they're going to have to back up. Lord Patchling flashes. I think that flash was a misclick. I didn't see where he was before, but that cooldown will be used up for the beginning of the lane phase. But yeah, anyways, back to naming them off. Sax their jungler so well. He's in the clan. Will G, shout out to the club the tournament organizer in the club, Wgong. In the mid lane, we have Ganked by Mom playing that AP Lucian. We'll see what he started. He did start with the Doran's Blade, getting a little bit of in-lane lifesteal.
Being also help him with a little bonus AD to help him CS.
Yeah, definitely. That's super annoying having to CS with AP champions. But Rat with a Hat going from the Caitlyn to a Vayne. Pretty opposite in terms of what they want to do in the game. Lord Patchling grabbing that first pick. Janna on the red side. Do you want to read off Team 6?
On Team 6, in the top lane, we have Notorious Spook on the Jace. In the jungle, Aigu Wow on Zac. In the mid lane, Sabotage27 playing that Vel'koz. In the bot lane, we have Jungle Lee Sin only on AD carry and James LS on the Thresh support.
Yeah, it looks like Thresh takes a very aggressive stance here. He gets the death sentence onto Rat with a Hat, but good. Eye of the Storm does block a lot of that damage. Now, Caitlyn getting a bunch of free autos off onto the AD carry, and James Ellis takes more damage, but as a support, you can afford more potions. So I think, in the end, that actually favors the red side.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Even though they were tanking minion damage the entire time, it was all on the Thresh, who has 3 potions, now going down to 2. But in general, in the bot lane, trading damage on the AD for damage on the support is not usually worth it, simply because supports have so much health regen, so many potions, and so many ways to resustain.
Yeah, and speaking of sustain, Vayne did actually go for the Warlord's Bloodlust. You can kind of see that animation go off every time she autos the minions. We'll see it right here, that nice little crescent. So she'll also be able to to regenerate some of her health. That hook almost landed. I was almost about to PogChamp in real life here, but she gets out of there. She's happy. Almost back at full health already. I go out. No sneaky shenanigans so far this game from Sax. He's playing the Kazakhs right now. Looks like he just wants to farm up a little bit, get a couple items, maybe make some ganks happen then.
Yeah, Kazakhs is really strong in this patch since the new... I go out going aggro in the mid lane. He uses his dash so he gets hit by the...
Tectonic disruption.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but does get stunned up there. Does return a lot of the harass from that 3 proc passive on the Vel'koz. And now, looks like the junglers are going to be kind of waving hi to each other, saying, how's it going? Oh no, Sax actually gets caught out here, but the flame misses from James LS. He does manage to land the death sentence though, so Sax might be going down here. The trap was placed a little too far back, so not actually going to be able to catch catch the Kazakhs out. And a flay does come out for Rat with a hat. I don't know where my mouse went. I don't know. Sorry for that random jerk in the camera, but almost a kill in both instances. Sadly, nothing actually happened.
Yeah, blue team very, very low, and against a Caitlyn Thirst, there's some good tower damage if they decide to go for it.
Yeah, and Aigu Wow actually comes down very aggressive, threatens the enemy jungler and AD Carry to go back, but a flash forward from James Ellis while Aigu Wow was backing up, maybe not on the same exact page here. First blood goes to the Kazakhs, that's not what you want, but looks like they might get the return, a flash and the heal, double kill for the Caitlyn. Looks like Lord Patchling is going to try to pick it up, but is the red buff Caitlyn going to be enough? Aigu Wow just grabbing his blob saying, hey man, leave me be, I'm just a blob bubblegum monster trying to get back to his turret, running away to safety. Looks like the movement speed passive from Lloyd Patrick might be getting enough in range, but the Howling Gale barely misses by just a few frames. And Lord Patrick actually coming back here. Jungle Lee Sin saying, I'm not scared of you, girl. I'll auto attack you all day. I have my red buff. Transfer complete. And that's gonna be the end of that fight. Very intense first 5 minutes. 2 kills already on the AD carry, but importantly, the Kazakhs is up 400 gold against Zach.
Yeah, sadly, Caitlyn is not going to be recalling here. With the Warlord's Bloodlust, she can sustain, but she's quite low compared to the Vayne here. So they kind of give up a good amount of pressure in the bot lane in exchange for not falling too far behind in CS.
Yeah, and somebody in chat actually pointing out that Thresh went level 1 hook, lol. Yeah, usually you want to start with the Flay because you can just get better auto attack harass. But because they went for that really cheese play around here, seeing if they can catch someone out, I think he went for the death sentence to try to catch somebody. You can always leave it unskilled and use Control Q if that's still your default quick level up to try to level it as soon as you see someone. But he also got the hook on the Vayne when he came to lane, and they did win that trade. So I think the Death Sentence level 1 actually kind of worked out for him in this specific instance.
Yeah, I'm going to say Death Sentence level 1's pretty unconventional, but that's also because trading level 1 that aggressively is also pretty unconventional. So a bit of a weird bot lane start.
Maybe inspired a little bit by his opposing top laner, Larry Zhang UMD. If it's crazy, why not do it?
If you don't know what you're doing, how can the other team know what you're doing?
Perfect counterplay prevention right there. Looks like Sabotage 27, he throws out the Void Rift, and that procs the 3rd hit on his passive, getting a big chunk onto ganked by Mom. And even though there hasn't been any kills in the mid lane, it's been a lot of poke back and forth. You can see Lucian's right now ahead, maybe 5 CS, so just a little bit ahead. Zach going to be spotted out there, but they get a ward down in the river, so both top laners going to be pretty comfortable here.
Yeah, and GBM does go for double Doran's Ring, so fully revealing the AP if you haven't already by checking his runes and masteries.
Holy cow, looks like Gang by Mom instantly goes in with all of his cooldowns. A very good knockup by the Vel'koz. Does block that, and he flashes away for good measure. James LS just going to be walking forward here, gets the Flay into the hook, but meanwhile, Jungle Lee Sin only is trying to get this Vayne off of his tail and has to burn the 90 caliber net. So even though they get a lot of harass onto the Janna, she will presumably be able to come back up. And Vayne just kind of walks in there, takes a lot of free damage, which turns the trade in a pretty drastic manner.
I actually think Caitlyn could have done a lot more there. Caitlyn just has to walk sort of slightly away from the Vayne down towards the bushes and then harass the Janna. I think that actually had a pretty high potential to be a kill. She's also very far ahead of the Vayne in comparison. 2 kills, 20 CS, a BF sword versus daggers.
Holy
I don't really
moly.
think Caitlyn had any reason to be scared there and probably could have secured the kill if she just went more aggressive.
Yeah, if we do see Caitlyn just completely taking over this game, we might be seeing a Silver Scrapes Game 3 situation, getting to that final game in the series. Looks like Lucian saying, hey guys, Vel'koz missing, watch out. Don't want to get hit by that Lifeform Disintegration Ray, but a good hook does land onto Rat with a hat. Does not fall through on that death sentence. Maybe afraid of the Howling Gale a little bit. And Lord Patchling gets harassed down so much. Look at that damage from Ace in the Hole onto the Vayne.
That BF sword putting in work. Zac is also waiting in this bottom bush trying to look for a gank, but meanwhile Sax is doing the exact same thing top lane.
Yeah, we'll see which one actually comes out first. Notorious Spook gets hit up with the Malefic Visions. That'll hurt him down a little bit. And Sabotage 27 gets pretty low, but is able to dissuade Lucian from pursuing into the turret. The Zac is going to be backing off from the gank, while the Sac will not be. In the top side, Kha'Zix's just going even further in here. Larry Zhang does actually get hit by a shock blast, so that could be him going in. Looks like Sax was right there, but a huge burst brings him down. That's gonna be Sax trying to pick up the rest of this kill, but Notorious Spook is so comfortable on this Jace with that serrated Dirk already, doing so much damage with the added lethality. Picking up the kill before the jungler could even respond. Very well played by this Jace in the top side.
Oh.
Meanwhile, you can see wow actually just walking straight in. Wait, what the heck? Kha'Zix actually walked back around, killed the Jace. Maybe he was bluffing that he was going to go back. A good Monsoon heals up a lot of this Vayne in the bottom side. They're going to have to focus the Janna. Instead, Thresh goes for the very, very risky death sentence and doesn't actually get anybody. So a good Howling Gale will disengage that from the Janna. Looks like wow now going to be surprising Sax. Kha'Zix has been this top lane for about the past 3 minutes. Going to be finally thrown back to his fountain saying, listen buddy, I know you got 3 long swords here, but can you at least do something other than camping the top
isolate
side?
you.
Aha! Getting them with all that bubblegum splatter. You know, it would really suck to get jumped on by a pink Zac, because bubblegum in your hair is bad enough. Imagine just bubblegum all over your body.
So what about that yellow Zac though?
I have no comment about that. I do not want to. That sounds a little bit disgusting. Looks like Death Sun's gonna come out teaching this minion a lesson. Listen, buddy, you're not getting anywhere anytime soon. Caitlyn shoots him with a sniper rifle. So, once this Death Sun's cooldown is back up, looks like he might be trying to dive, and Kha'Zix possibly predicting that the enemy team could be roaming down here. They do not see the Vel'koz. Looks like Kha'Zix is actually going to get the jump onto the Vel'koz. A huge amount of burst here. The Dark Passage comes out for the Vel'koz. Looks like Caitlyn's going to take it instead. Now Rat with a hat is getting super far low down. A good flay into the Elastic Slingshot. Brings up 1 kill. Another kill from the Jace. Gives him a bigger gold lead leading into the first turret of the game. That's going to be over possibly 2,000 gold lead right off the bat for Team 6. They're coming back with a vengeance. A little bit miffed that they got beaten out in the first game.
Yeah, I like to see it. That teleport was really well placed on the tower, pretty much completely sandwiching the blue team. They had to make a decision and decided not to fully commit. And Larry Zhang, meanwhile, I believe he had teleport the entire time, decided he was just going to keep slip pushing top lane as well anyways. I'm interested to see where Notorious Spook was able to TP from, such that Larry Zhang couldn't find him and just interrupt it with the Nether Grasp or the Silence.
Yeah, now meanwhile, Sax actually finding out James LS. That will be another kill. There is nobody nearby to help him out except the Scuttle Crab, but this guy's just a little peaceful bugger. He's walking around. Looks like Gank by Mom does have a great flash, dodges the knockup from Sabotage 27, and Sax gonna actually flash forward into a leap to pick up the kill. Wow now trying to 1v2. I don't know if that's the best idea. He does have the support of the Caitlyn on the back side, but looks like Sax gets out of range enough, has the Honey Fruit to maybe heal himself up, but he needs to be aware of Notorious Spook pushing out Larry Zhang UMD. This Jace looks like it might be the counter matchup they needed to put Larry Zhang in his place. He started with the Yumu's Ghostblade, and even though that item got nerfed, he's making it work.
Yeah, it really only reduced, they got rid of the attack speed on it, but the base stats and the lethality are still there.
especially when you're talking about a Thunderlord's Jace, the attack speed is not really relevant because
Just
when you're
pops his W.
yeah, when you're trying to go in, you get the extra 100 or 150% attack speed from your hypercharge anyways. So getting extra attack speed off your Yumus is kind of irrelevant because by the time you get your third auto off, they're usually dead. Looks like King by Mom playing aggressive as always. Vel'koz is 0-2, but he's kept his CS within a pretty reasonable amount, only down 15 to 20 so far. So we'll hopefully, when he gets to the team fights, he'll still be able to contribute in a meaningful way. But I'm really curious to see how this Lucian does in the team fights. He's against such high damage long range, and in addition to the very hard engage of the Zac Thresh follow-up, it might be really dangerous for him to contribute damage. He might have to rely on the culling a lot.
Zac's able to force out the ultimate on that Zac after seeing him in the jungle, showing how strong it really is.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to go for a dragon off this play. Obviously, you still have the Vel'koz pushing the mid lane, but Vayne getting pushed in bottom. Maybe they don't feel quite comfortable pushing out here. Zac's going to try to clear some wards with his jungler. And red team is a little too scared to contest so far. Don't really have the right people in position just yet. They have Zac coming in, so maybe they'll be able to make something happen, but oh man, Kha'Zix is lying in wait. That is not what you want to be seeing as an AD carry. Gank by Mom getting hit by the death sentence and saying, hey Vel'koz, where are you at, buddy? I'm ready to go in. Looks like I'm going to be finding Sax right here. Gets hit up with the ace in the hole, and even though you get the landing indicator off the Zac, if you're exhausted, there's no way you can dodge it. Regardless, his flash was still down from when he killed Vel'koz in the mid lane, so now that will lead into the first Drake of the game, going over to Team 6.
Not necessarily that could be the Janus steal, but it does not happen.
Not quite. It looks like not. Holy cow! A huge play out of this mid lane, and the flash nether grasp followed up with the Malefic Visions is going to bring him down. Sabotage 27 doing a lot of damage from a really good spot, actually. He's pretty much untouchable back there behind the wall, just due to the enemy team being pretty short range. And now, even though they lost one member, they're going to try to push into this turret. Malzahar does not have his passive up. I go out following up perfectly with a good knockup. That's going to be a double kill from I go out onto this. Here comes the Vayne. Final hour is popped, but I don't think there's anything left on the blue side that they can throw to keep this fight going on.
Yeah, Vayne's too far behind right now. Simply doesn't have the items to really be effective and do damage. Aiguel is charging up the slingshot. He decides not to go in. If he was able to land it on Lucian, it'd definitely be completely dead.
Yeah, Sax is also nearby, so this is just a dicey situation for all players. Looks like they're really hungry to get a lead in this game. Right now, I don't even see Zac's score right now because I cannot find it. It's 404, a smite kill coming in onto the Caitlyn. Not well picked up by the Kha'Zix, but a good response by the red team is going to be able to pick up that one on the backside. And the Courage of the Colossus tanking so much damage for Zac right here. I go out, might get blown up though by the Silver Bolts. Vayne picks up one kill. Is she going to get another one? All the cooldowns are down for the red team. They can't do anything as she just autos her way through. Notorious Spook comes through with a teleport. Condemn might save him. He gets a lot of AoE damage. That's a double kill. And the shield Malefic Visions picks him up on the backside. But he does bring that around, so it's 3 for 3 on both sides. Very, very risky play by Notorious Spook, but it does come out in favor of him because they were down when he teleported into that fight.
Yeah, honestly, that teleport was extremely aggressive. It looked like a terrible idea. It seemed as if he was surrounded, but he somehow manages to pull off the kills, getting all that crazy damage. I guess they weren't able to completely chain the CC on him. So,
yeah, and looks like Jace and Caitlyn are the ones that are mostly ahead on the red team in terms of gold versus the Vel'koz and the Lucian on the blue side. So it's really going to be who is more impactful. Your AD carrying your top lane, being able to put out a lot of that consistent damage and the long range damage from the Jace, or are there going to be a lot of these picks with your Lucian AP burst and the Kha'Zix isolation damage?
yeah, luckily Vayne did pick up several kills from that fight, so she's hitting that point where she's becoming a major threat. Once you have that first crit item and slowly transition to Infinity Edge, you are going to be extremely strong.
And it looks like they're actually going to be going in here. Sax gets complete destruction on his enemy AD carry. Especially helped out with that Nether Grasp on the Malzahar.
Yeah,
so.
I'm actually a little surprised that happened because Larry didn't flash or anything for that Nether Grasp, so just simply being in that range in the first place as a Caitlyn probably signals some issues with positioning. That really shouldn't ever happen.
Yeah, that's going to be one kill. Unfortunately for Team 8, there aren't really any objectives up that they can get after taking that lead. They're actually pinging the Rift Herald now. Usually we don't see teams really go for this objective just because it's so tanky, it takes so long. But if you have a Lucian, Vayne, Malzahar, that is a lot of single target damage, so they could maybe try to go for something. Looks like Rat with a Hat going to be happy to pick up this bottom lane turret instead. So they're going to be closing out the gold lead. It's actually perfectly even right now. Sax might make it in his favor, though. Oh my gosh, taste their fear. Barely does not come off cooldown, and a death sentence stuns him up. Is he going to go for the tower dive and the reset for the woo? But looks like he will not. He's just going to back off. A little bit afraid of the flay, perhaps.
Yeah, diving a Thresh is quite scary. Thresh has many, many ways to deny you and keep you under the tower. Generally not a good idea. Luden's Echo coming out on the Lucian. That should be interesting.
Does give him extra movement speed, maybe try to juke around. And here comes the Aiguao actually from the bush, I believe. I didn't actually see where he came from, but they do get a kill up there. Sabotage 27, just trying to wiggle his tentacles fast enough, but not able to do that, even though he popped the ghost. Really, really impressive positioning by Gank by Mom, making sure that the culling was at a good angle, and he was going back and forth, following Vel'koz's attempts to try to juke out of the target area. But that is going to be another lead for the Lucian. Unfortunately, Vel'koz is now 1-4. He does have a decent amount of gold, so he can contribute in these fights, but if he's left alone in the lane like that, he could just continue getting punished. One turret did fall for the inner team. One inner turret fell down. Look at that shock blast damage off the Jace. That is ridiculous. And he went for a more tanky build with the Hex Drinker. Imagine if that was just a BF sword. He might be going for an Essence Reaver next with that Caulfield Warhammer. I'm not really sure. What are your thoughts?
The Warhammer actually builds straight into Maw Mortius. I think that's probably what he's going for after the new item changes. No longer builds from Serrated Dirk. So I think he's probably just going to get the Maw Mortius. It's a relatively gold-efficient item, and the passive that gives you a shield, lifesteal, and AD when you get low are quite useful. However, it'll only really be procced by the Malzahar or the Janna. Or actually, never mind. I forgot AP Lucian, so...
Well, there you go. Lucian does have the blue buff, so he can throw out as many Ardent Blaze stars as possible. And important that Sabotage was able to get rid of the Malzahar passive. Now they can continue to poke him, maybe land a death sentence if possible. And Sax actually finds Aiguao. That's not good for the Zac because you get that isolation damage. Meanwhile, Larry Zang has to pop the flash because he's about to get engaged on by the elastic slingshot. Then the shock blast comes out to try to hit the enemy team. Larry Zang's the first person to go down here, but Caitlyn is soon to follow. Sax had a great flank. Here's the one. He gets hit by the death sentence. He's gonna get poked down a little bit. Notorious Spook saying, "I am peacing out. Sorry, team, but you're just dying a little too fast for me to keep up with you."
I think they should be going for the Baron right now. They definitely have the damage to do it. Possibly not the tankiness, but Janna does have ultimate available. I think this Baron actually should be pretty free. Notorious Spook does have that engaged with the Shock Blast. There is a chance for it to be stolen, but there is no vision on it right now. He actually does teleport in. They do see the teleport. They have a ward in the bush. Sax is looking for this pickoff. I think they know that Notorious Spook is there, and they all back off.
How much respect is that? You have 1v4, and the 4 people all back out. I mean, they are all pretty low, especially, well, Kha'Zix is pretty healthy, but 3 out of 4 of them are pretty low. And against a Jace, obviously, if you're low, you don't really want to get hit by a Wayward Shock Blast and give him the auto triple kill. But they're going to be going for a bit of the safer play. Gonna give the red team a little bit of respite here. Maybe a chance to get back in this game. They're going to try to take this mid tower. Vayne's still bot side, so if a fight breaks out, she will not be able to contribute.
Aiguao inside that Wraith Pit looking for a engage from the side. They don't see this coming, and they've already used their dashes, but they decide not to fully commit. They don't have any minions at this time.
For any of you non-believers, all this damage was solely from the Lucian. That is pretty ridiculous. If you've ever doubted AP Illusion, looks like Sax is actually going to get caught out here by the Zac. He has to leap over the wall. Now he's by himself. Is the enemy team going to be able to try to get in here? Thresh is the only one over so far, and Wgong does fall down. Kha'Zix is still alive, albeit barely. And now Jungle Lee Sin, that was almost some Vayne spot points going in there, but Rat with the Hat smartly kind of gets out of there before he gets completely jumped on by the enemy team. That's going to force all of Team 6 to back up right now. This is getting really tense because even though the gold lead is in favor of Team 8, Team 6 is fighting for their life and not giving them any reprise. Lord Patchling barely surviving that life form disintegration ray. Whew. That must be one of the worst ways to go out in this world. A life form disintegration ray? Holy cow. That would be really, really painful, I think. Maybe only second to getting jumped on by a P-Zac. But looks like Gangbam, I'm going to be trying to get chased down here. Death sentence, not going to be killing him or sentencing him to death so far. Larry Zhang UMD, even though he's on a very potent split pusher on the Malzahar, he's actually been sitting in this mid lane for all these fights. As you can see, he hasn't even gotten the top lane turret so far. I guess that might just be because Notorious Spook has been doing so well in that 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, Spook is doing way too much damage right now to be ignored, and if he joins team fights, they really do need that Nether Grasp to completely stop him. Sadly, in these past team fights, they've been using the Nether Grasp on the Zac as a form of stopping him from fully engaging. It's not a terrible use of it, but it certainly isn't the best.
Yeah, and Wgong gonna be seeing Zax over here. It looks like the Edge of Night was popped possibly. Zax going over here, but he has the Blasting Cone. Very slick play from the Kha'Zix, knowing that he can escape down here with the addition of that plant. We went back to that, saying how he knows his plants. That's why he doesn't have one as his icon. Elastic Slingshot not going to be catching out Rat with a Hat so far. Vayne going to back up, and Gank by Mom takes a lot of punishment from the Jace. That Eye of the Storm Shield not coming in quick enough, just barely a little too late. He will eventually heal up, though, with some of that health regen, unless he gets hit again. Very elusive footing right now. They have the Cloud Drake buff to help them juke some of these skill shots.
Baron has been started.
Yeah, red team did have a ward there. It's cleared out, but at least they know that something's going down. Caitlyn's are actually on the bottom side, so if a fight breaks out, red team pretty much cannot win this. They need to get a lot of extra poke down early on. Looks like Sabotage 27 gonna get a very good ultimate, damaging the enemy team a lot. Notorious Spook throws out a Shock Blast, but that one actually misses. Larry Zhang UMD gonna be getting pretty low here, taking a lot of extra Baron damage. Jungle Lee Sin only coming in on the Caitlyn. Gonna be able to pick up the ace in the hole. Now he's here for the fight. It's 2 for 1 so far. Sax gonna go in. Is he gonna get the reset on Jungle Lee Sin only? No. A good response, popping every single summoner in the book to stay alive, and it's worth it. Kha'Zix does not get the kill onto the Caitlyn. They're gonna turn it around, take Baron for themselves.
What a crazy fight. Amazing Monsoon from Janna to stop that Zac engage, but they're going to re-engage instead anyways.
Yeah, Gank by Mom actually flashes forward, gets the proc on the Ardent Blaze. Baron actually finishes off Caitlyn. I don't know if they have enough damage to kill Baron because he's back at full health. The Notorious Spook does do a lot himself, but they don't feel confident enough with the Caitlyn. So very, very good play by Gank by Mom, possibly saving them this game, or at least saving them the lead so far, because they're still ahead in gold for the moment.
And if I saw that correctly, I believe Baron had 2 kills that fight. First one on Larry Zhang, left alone inside the pit, and second one on the Caitlyn.
It always feels bad when you're the player that has fewer kills than Baron in this game, and luckily this time it's only the supports, but it's always it's never a good feeling.
Yeah, I would like to see some Farsight orbs, some different trinkets on the red team. It would definitely help them with scanning out these Baron areas and being able to use their poke effectively.
Yeah, you mentioned last game that especially on the 80 carry you want to get that blue trinket as well. Vel'koz right now just has the basic warding trinket, which can be useful, but being able, you can see his enemy does have a bit of a better ability to scout out dangerous areas, so we'll see if he ever decides to switch over for that or if he just wants these permanent wards.
Yeah, both teams just dancing around the mid lane right now. Vayne is currently bot lane though, so they might want to look for an engage.
Yeah, and the gold leads in terms of champions have actually evened up quite a bit. Larry Zhang opens up on Wow, but that's not the champion you want to engage on if you're the Malzahar. The tank is not really, unless you have the whole team that help DPS. Sax actually goes in, gets 1 kill, gets a double kill. Gangbam, I'm going to be going off the backside, gets exhausted though. He might be falling down. A redemption comes out. Is the heal from Jenna coming in time? Yes, and the double howling kill. Perfectly executed by the Janna there. Tries to save Sax. Oh man, he sees the juicy prey coming in. He's tasting their fear. He gets the reset off the thresh, leaps under tower. Wow, gonna be tanky enough to survive here, but a great play by the blue side coming back after Larry Zhang opened up a little too early.
That ridiculous damage coming out of Kha'Zix. It's really hard to protect your Caitlyn adequately when both of your tanks are generally used for the engage there. You just quickly dispatched the Caitlyn and I believe Jace in that team fight as well.
Yeah, Kha'Zix getting hit up with the ace in the hole, but his good buddy Rat with a hat saying, listen man, I'm Vayne, I can take this. I've been dealing with Caitlyn all game, no worries. You just kill her for me in the next team fight and I'll block this one for you. So they hook that up with each other. Dragon's up in 30 seconds. Not sure why they all ran over to the pit. Maybe they didn't quite realize that, but they are a little bit low. This could be dangerous. If Sax can find the Caitlyn by himself, oh man, James LS getting dangerously close to the enemy Kha'Zix. And actually, both teams are swapping positions on the map right now. Meanwhile, Larry Zhang just getting free towers on the top side. Notorious Spook is going to have to answer that. Kha'Zix is lying in wait. He knows that the dragon is up, so he's guessing that the enemy team is doing it right now. He does get the proc off his Duskblade of Drakthar. Gonna get some vision, knowing that he got spotted out by the ward. Does not want to try to do anything too sneaky, but a good smite by Out, picks up the dragon. Meanwhile, Notorious Spook chases away Malzahar from the top lane down over here. He's getting caught again, but is this going to be another follow-up like last time? He's not dying just yet. A good monsoon is keeping him alive. Caitlyn's on the backside, not even able to auto this fight so far. Sabotage 27 is going to pick up the kill with the Lifeform Disintegration Wave, so he is going to grab a small lead in the fight so far. The dragon did get taken by the red team. That's going to be pretty important in terms of the Jace Shock Blast, especially being able to deal so much more damage with his poke.
Yeah, Larry Zhang getting caught out of position in a very weird way. He's not tanky enough to really be putting himself in the middle of the team and then baiting with Zanya's. And the rest of his team isn't quite able to follow up.
Holy
damn,
cow. I was trying to sync it up with you, but you went for damage, and I said cow. There's no All-Stars in this game, though. James LS is getting really far out. There's no reason why you should be outside your turret if you just lost your highest damage dealer, but he is going to get punished now. Pretty much all of red team is getting pretty low. Ganked by Mom, gets stunned up under the tower. He's going to stay alive. This could be the end of the game if red team just dies in this next fight. If they give up this inhibitor turret and Kha'Zix can go ham on the enemy, a good Caitlyn trap does catch him out. Sabotage 27 with another really clever ultimate, picking up one extra kill onto Gank by Mom. That's going to scare away Team 6. Give teammate one last round, one chance to take another breath, but if they get aced again, I can't help but think that it's going to be the game.
Yeah, I think this next team fight's probably going to revolve around this Baron. It's pretty telling. Whoever gets this Baron will probably end up winning the game. Yeah, I'm going to say it favors blue side quite a bit right now, though.
And Kha'Zix is by himself right now. Is he going to be able to escape the thresh? They might have spotted him out here. Looks like they're all going to chase him down. The blue team is nowhere to be found. If they can correctly lock him up, that will be a very good opportunity for them to go for that Baron.
And it looks like red team will probably be able to make the move on Baron right now. Larry Zhang is in the bot lane trying to get something out of this push after his jungler gets caught out. He does not have teleport, so he's hard committing to this bot lane push. So red team really does need to figure out what to do right now. They honestly should be pushing for this Baron.
Yeah, looks like Rat with a hat and Larry Zhang UMD are going to be running over, maybe seeing if they can stop the Baron or this mid lane push. Looks like they're a little bit more worried about their inhibitor on the mid side, so maybe just taking an outer turret instead, but they could have maybe gone for the Baron like you were talking about.
I honestly think it was their best chance of clawing their way back into this game. They definitely are a little far behind, down 4K gold. GBM flashing in.
Cow! Talk about Vayne spot points. I think that's a certified Vayne play right there. GBM actually saying Lamau in chat. I sneezed. That's an interesting sneeze you got there, buddy. Maybe he has a macro to cast his ult, his W, and the flash into the E off of one sneeze. That's pretty impressive, to be honest. But that is definitely going to hamper some of these blue team's plans. Might give enough time for this inhibitor to come back up.
Yeah, now that blue side has another champion down, maybe another chance for Baron, but probably not, because I don't think Lucian is exactly the main threat there, although he certainly is outputting a solid amount of damage.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of ward clear, so there's pretty much no vision for either team. Blue side is trying to get a little bit if they can. Defending that last ward was pretty important. They'll be able to spot if their adversaries are going to be trying to close in on them. But red team really has no vision right now. Team 6 is so scared of that Kha'Zix. I can just feel the Caitlyn shuddering every time she has to walk into a bush. But Igawao gonna be poked a little bit by the Kha'Zix. Condemn gonna help him get out of there, and Plasma Fission not really hitting anyone, but he's like, listen, I'm a tentacle monster. You better get out of here. Looks like they're not gonna be quite listening. They're just gonna be shoving in the mid lane instead. We'll see if they want to go for this mid inhib siege or if they want to go for another Baron play.
Yeah, GBM is relatively low, sitting slightly above half health. I don't really think it's safe to siege against Vel'koz and Jace at that kind of health. We've seen how much damage they can do from afar in just a split second, so this is going to be a very risky push if they decide to commit to it.
Yeah, it looks like Caitlyn is dangerously out of her base, which I'm a little scared for her because Kha'Zix could be roaming around anywhere. Team 6 has no wards on the right side of the map. You can see actually Sack's trying to clear that, and he's gonna go for Notorious Spook. Is Spook gonna knock him away? No, that's an instant kill for the red team. So for the past 5 to 10 minutes, we've pretty much just been seeing one team get picks and then the other team responding in kind. This is getting pretty dicey because every time these kills go down, the timer becomes so much longer. We're now at 40+ seconds for every death, and especially with Notorious Spook, that's really going to hurt the DPS output of Team 6.
Yeah, a late condemn from Rat with the hat. I think if instead of doing the first auto, he went straight for the condemn. That could have been a kill. That crazy damage coming out of the
that's
color.
a huge amount of damage coming out from the Lucian. Lord's Passion actually goes in to get the Monsoon off, but he pays the price for it, and he goes down. Now it's a 4v4. Kha'Zix is going in for the reset. He gets one. He gets two. Is he going to get the third? No. Death Sentence does miss, and he gets a fourth one. The Guardian Angels popped. That might be the game. Igawao is the only one left on his team. Sax is going ham in this right now. The Gravesman was coming out. He didn't even have to pull out the Poppy again. He said, give me any champion you want. I'm going to carry this hard, and carry he has. 17-6. Duskblade of Drakthar with the Edge of Night has been able to find these pocket openings. Jace is going to pick up one kill. Notorious Spook being pretty scary so far. I don't know if that's going to be enough to scare them off. Looks like he might go down. If Notorious Spook falls down, that could be the game, but they're so low. Igawao just needs to heal up, and he might be able to actually wombo combo them into submission against Vayne and Lucian. Obviously, it's pretty scary because they both have good tools to kind of juke around the Elastic Slingshot, but so far, it looks like Team 8 is gonna take one more try. I keep saying this, they keep getting so close to pulling this one out. And
they are recalling on wards right now. Igawao might be able to get in position.
Oh, and actually, Edge of Night is going to block that ace in the hole, but that does stop their recall. More importantly, Sax actually gets hit by the wrong side of the blasting cone. Has to pop his leap to get out of there. Actually used his ultimate as well. I'm not sure if the ultimate was necessary. Maybe he thought that the enemy team was also nearby. You can see they didn't have any wards in that jungle. Actually, Igawao going to be chasing him under the turret. The GA was already down, so that's going to be the jungler dead for the blue team. And gank by Mom. I'm going to try it again, but a huge tectonic disruption by Sabotage 27. Absolutely disintegrating the enemy. That's going to be a free Baron, and exactly what Team 6 need to stay alive in the tournament.
Yeah, they definitely need to secure this Baron and get something out of it. Meanwhile, Notorious Spook in the base clearing these minions. He also really needs to go defend that top lane. There's a good amount of minion pressure going on there. This should be completely free. Only Ret with a hat up to possibly contest, but he goes straight for that bot lane.
Yeah, if you're Vayne, I'm not sure if you want to be face checking the Thresh Vel'koz Caitlyn Thresh. pretty much all those champions are pretty good at poking you out and killing you, so gonna be pretty difficult for them. You can see both sports do have that redemption item, only Thresh going for that locket. There's actually no locket on the blue side. I'm a little surprised to see that.
Yeah, on the blue side, there's a very high amount of AoE on the other team. So yeah, the lack of a locket is quite surprising.
Yeah, I guess it kind of comes down to who's going to build it. I mean, you obviously want your Kha'Zix to be able to do damage, and he's invested a lot in this kind of vision denial and the CC denial through the Edge of Night and Duskblade of Drakthar. So, I mean, maybe you put it on your Malzahar, but then obviously he's going to lose some AP, and he wants that to split push. This definitely hasn't been Larry Zhang's strongest game. You can see that's just reflected in his score right now. But, yeah, Janna wanted that Ardent Sensor, wanted the Talisman of Ascension, so I guess they just really haven't been able to find a space to put it in.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard siege for red side, and they catch Zac in the jungle. Good condemn, puts him against the wall. He still has the elastic slingshot into the lantern, gets out with a quick zip and zip.
That's kind of interesting set of escapes there. Instead of just throwing the lantern over and possibly getting the Thresh caught out by overextending, they just have him use the elastic slingshot to jump over and onto the lantern itself. And it looks like this is just they're going full ARAM right now. Sax is clearing out this ward and maybe thinking about it. A double Howling Gale, pretty nicely aimed by Lord Patchling. Nethergrasp is going to start off the fight. I don't know if anyone's going to commit to this or not. That is a big cooldown up, though.
Yeah, not exactly the greatest use, but does help dissuade that Zac from diving, which would allow them to siege the towers more effectively. Sadly, they are sieging against super minions.
Yeah, and look at this culling damage again. The Lucian scaling so well with AP, pretty surprising to be honest. But looks like Vel'koz not going to be able to pick up kills with his ultimate this time, but they are all really low. If red team is able to pick up a couple of these, this could just snowball into an entire red lead, and that's exactly what they're seeing there. That's 1 kill, 2 kills. James LS going to be able to get the one onto the vein. That's going to be only 3 members up for the red side. Ganked by Mom is looking over. He gets the Ardent Blaze onto Thresh. That's 1 down. Notorious Spook trying to hit him up with the Shock Blast. Kha'Zix still has not healed. He does not feel comfortable jumping into this entire enemy team alone. So that's going to be 1 turret, 2 turrets for the red team. This gold lead is going back in the favor of Team 6. This game is just getting bonkers so far. They still have the Baron buff, but for how long? Looks like it's going to be pretty much done after this wave, so they need to make it count while it lasts, and Sax actually might get caught out here. The ultimate from the Vel'koz is going to be off cooldown again, and that scares Kha'Zix away. He might be getting collapsed on by the entire enemy team. Looks like Notorious Spook going to chase him down. And importantly, there's a GA on the J, so Kha'Zix would not be able to get the reset if he quickly turns around and kills him. That means they're going to continue to chase Sax down. I don't know if they're going to actually be able to fight him this entire time. Here comes the ace in the hole. Actually, Gateway Bomb comes around in the backside, picks up the Caitlyn. She had to stop to cast her ultimate, and now Kha'Zix might want to turn around. The rest of the team is trying to catch up to him. Here comes Thresh with a flay into Death Sentence. That should be his
flay
death.
Missed, and the Death Sentence missed as well.
The flay actually got procced by the Edge of Night, so they was able to block that ability. Nice use of it by the Kha'Zix. You have to channel it before it happens, so really good understanding that the Thresh was about to be there, about to cast it, but the channel like animation doesn't go off, so you just kind of press it and eventually it happens. But well played by Sack. I can't believe he got out of there. Holy cow. Holy bug.
He really understands that champion extremely well, playing it to an extremely high level. Looks like he went for the Black Cleaver as his final item. So that should be interesting to see what he ends up doing with that. And also, somewhat interestingly, he evolved his W. Normally, I'm used to seeing the ultimate evolve, but I have to say, the Void Spikes are definitely putting in work, getting the slows and the heals off.
Yeah, some of these fights are getting so dang exciting. I can feel my voice shaking just with the hype. So... and as we get longer and longer into this game, the lead is only 500 gold right now, which is
huge Baron power play coming out of red team.
They've done exactly what they need to get back in this. That one clutch play by the Vel'koz really won them that fight, and some good follow-ups later on. Looks like Sax is going to try to get Iga Wow, and one Life Form Disintegration Ray does a little bit of damage to the enemy team. Doesn't actually get a huge amount of AoE on a lot of the members, so not the maximum potential that we saw like we did earlier. But it looks like the rest of Red Team is going to be zoned off from this Elder Drake, and that could be the deciding factor in the next team fight. We've seen how much burst damage the Lucian can actually do. Larry Zhang is going to get poked out, and he hasn't been super contributing super much in these fights, but it looks like Sabotage is going to get 1 kill. The Kha'Zix is down. Nobody is on the Vayne, however, they're focusing the Janna. They do get the Janna, however, Vayne does get the exhaust off. Now it's going to be Vel'koz and Thresh versus Vayne. She's juking all the plays, but here comes the auto attacks from Caitlyn. You cannot juke those. I am sorry, Rat with a hat, but your hat is gonna be taken off. Have to commend the team play from Red Team, being able to choose targets and focus them down. It's really, really risky to leave the Vayne up.
Yeah, honestly, I don't agree with this Elder Dragon right now. I think if they just went straight for the mid lane push, they could have ended the game. This Elder Dragon might help them, but they're all extremely low after taking it and can't push any objectives.
They only have ganked by Mama, and we've seen him do so much damage that he might be able to one combo somebody if he's really lucky. But if you have the Zac, if you have the Thresh, that you can really easily kind of punish him if he has to make that do or die play. And well, that will be giving them the advantage, but only for a little while. They did buff the duration on Elder Dragon. We'll see if Blue Team just kind of decides to wait it out, because almost all these fights have been initiated by Team 8 in this matchup. So it's really Team 8's decision going forward if they want to. The fights in the last 10 minutes have pretty much all been started by them. So if they don't start anything, maybe they can just wait out this buff.
Yeah, I think Sack is starting to realize that if he keeps engaging on Zac, these team fights just aren't going to work out. He has to be he has to be there and jump on the backline in the end for him to really carry his team.
Oh, speaking of jumping in, Wow gonna be engaging really quickly here. Here comes Notorious Spook. That could be Janna going down, but a good flash is able to dodge out a lot of that damage.
Yeah, Larry Zhang, I believe, has finished his Leandri's. Yes, he has. So he actually does substantial damage against these tanks, slowly burning them down. Looks like there's going to be a dance around Baron. Red Team definitely has a better arc on it right now. However, Sax is already on the flank.
Holy
Huge
cow.
Cullen coming out, forcing the flash out of Caitlyn. Zac looking to re-engage, jumps in, gets the knock up on Kha'Zix.
Yeah, looks like Caitlyn's gonna be coming in on the backside. She actually hasn't contributed to this fight at all, but Vel'koz coming in huge again, kills out the Malzahar, or not the Malzahar, but the Lucian, who was almost able to kill off the Caitlyn, but she was actually life-stealing off of Scuttlecrab, so now she's back and healthy, ready to rumble. Looks like Igawao is gonna try to pick up the kill, but Sabotage gets one more on the Vayne. This could be the game for Team 6. I don't know. Looks like the GA is popped. I do like the fact that a lot of Red Team are building GAs to try to counter the Kha'Zix reset, and there goes Larry Zhang. He just hasn't been able to contribute much in this entire game. They have a huge minion wave here. Kha'Zix is trying to do some Marin type level plays, but if they already have a double wave in the enemy base, that's not gonna work. That's gonna be the game. Team 6 bringing it back. Bring on the Silver Scrapes. Do. Sax actually gets one kill on the Notorious Spook, but he's gonna go down. Then Caitlyn gonna be able to pick it up. Janna cannot do anything here. I'm sorry, Lord Patchling. Game 3 on the way.
Woo! Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, live and die by the Sax seems to be the general consensus here.
Yeah, we saw he was able to do so much work in the mid game. But once the enemy team got to their full builds, they got multiple GAs, Kha'Zix was absolutely useless. He was doing damage, but they would just come back up. And we saw he had almost no highlight plays in the last 10 minutes of the entire game.
That's the importance of having a tank on your team. Tanks soak up damage, and as the games continue to get longer and longer, everyone outputs more and more damage. So when you don't have someone there to take it, no one can really frontline, and everyone is in danger of dying the second they're ever in range of anyone else. So when you have someone like Igawao and James LS on that Thresh, you have options. You have this wall that lets you reposition your team properly. Without it, on Sack's team, you pretty much just have to engage perfectly every time. So when they look for these catches on Zac, which really aren't catches at all, especially because he has his passive, you get nothing out of it. They're able to take the damage, and the rest of the team swoops in to finish them off. So I'm gonna have to say they need to rethink how they draft. If they're gonna be going for this carry jungler, they definitely need a tank somewhere else.
Yeah. Before we go to the damage dealt, who's your prediction for this game? Because there is a lot of damage across the board.
This one's gonna be hard to say, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to a slight I'm gonna give a slight lead to Vel'koz, then Lucian, and then the Kazakhs. That's my wild guess right
All
now.
right, let's see. Moment to shine. Holy moly!
Right on the dot. Stop in my bathroom.
This is why we. Let me switch over to the pig ban. Yeah, I was keeping it a little hidden, but yeah, Richard coming in exactly on the money. Vel'koz was so huge this game. We saw pretty much any fight that Team 6 won, it was almost entirely off the tentacles of Sabotage 27 right here. He did so much work. He was, one fight, he absolutely obliterated the entire team. The last fight, he was able to kill Vayne without his ultimate, which is super impressive against somebody who tumbles every 2.5 seconds. But yeah, really well played by the Vel'koz and the rest of the red team, being able to stay in this game super clutch. We're going to have a small break before we get into the finals. I just realized that this song has been playing the entire game. Hopefully it wasn't distracting. I'm going to load up a special by one of our very own, I think it's Danny McCarthy. Yeah, Danny McCarthy, boys. Going into the final game here. I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright, we're back for the final game.
Oh shit, was I eating on cam the entire time?
Yes,
Oh.
but don't worry about it, bruh. There you go.
Hey,
Looks
some
like
people watch Twitch streams,
C9
right?
Hai's balls wearing his jersey, getting really hyped for the last game in this, and we are going to do a coin flip. If you could confirm the result for me. Wait, who's calling what?
Yeah, let's figure that out first.
All right, I'll say.
So are we
They
flipping?
called
Are we
tails. All
flipping
right.
up and then ending on the hand? Or
I'm just gonna flip on the table.
right.
Let it land. Let Riot and RNGesus decide for us. Let's see.
And the result is heads.
Woo!
So that means.
Wow.
Wow.
I guess I could have tilted the camera.
So I believe
all
that
the way
means
down,
Team
but-
6 gets to pick sides.
Yes, indeedy. Wait. Yeah. So, looks like Sabotage and Friends get to decide where they want to go. In this, so right now, what do you think is more important? They getting the first pick or getting the last pick? Because they first picked the Janna last game also, but the Janna lost this time. Actually, both times the Janna has lost.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a worrying trend. Get out of here. Do your homework and study for finals.
I don't know what that means.
So we're going out then.
I only know it's the budget.
All right, let's see. Looks like they actually do decide to go to the red side, so Wow and his crew
exams.
are going to be getting the last pick in this matchup. We'll see if they have the exact same bands again or if there's anything they really want to bring out. I think that the Vel'koz was really, really effective last game, even though he actually started off really far behind. I think he was 1-4 and down a lot of CS, but the game just lasted so long that lane advantage didn't matter at all.
Yeah, and a lot of these team fights end up funneling into the jungle, where Vel'koz is just a beast with that lifeform disintegration ray reaching so far. Also, a lot of people running to those tectonic disruptions, a little knock up on the E. So, a lot of people not respecting it and getting destroyed by the true damage in the end.
All right, so we're good to go on our end. We'll see if they. I think we're about to start in just a few moments. Get the spoiler tags up. I feel like they might not first pick the Janna this time, because did it win lane last game? I think it was pretty even on the bot side.
Yeah, they actually no. I think Vayne lost relatively hard. It was
Vayne,
it was Vayne, Janna, Caitlyn, Thresh, and the Vayne was down by a solid amount of CS and down 2
Right.
kills. Yeah, Janna wasn't able to really protect the Caitlyn well enough, protect the Vayne well enough from the Caitlyn. So possibly grounds for changing it. It's just kind of the issue when you do have your captain and your highest elo player as the support who tends to play peel supports. So you kind of take a more passive role in the team. You don't really shot call as much. You don't really look for the plays. And that sort of knowledge that you have is, in a sense, wasted.
Yeah. I do want to point out that they're actually switching up their summoner icons. They're no longer all plant synergy, so maybe the nerves are getting to them a little bit. Lord Patchling is actually rocking that velocity. And looking at their track record, maybe not the best team to be trying to emulate right now, but at least the Challenger Series team in the LCS would probably beat a college team.
I would hope so.
So, oh man, Dada is slinging some shade. Luckily, you guys cannot hear it because she's out in the crowd, sticking her tongue out at the camera. But looks like she doesn't
The
care at
camera
all.
is still on, by the way.
Let's see if we can zoom in there. Neat. All right. Anyways, we're in Champion Select. We'll see if the bands come out like they did last time. Team 6 is on the red side again. So first band we'd probably expect is GP Hecarim Rek'Sai for the blue team.
Yeah, definitely want to keep Notorious Spook off of that Gangplank. He is very dangerous with it, and it's still quite a strong champion. And the Gangplank ban, as expected.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually first pick Zac, just because it's been such a strong initiation and tool, and so hard to pick off in later stages of the game. Because we saw Larry Zhang UMD had probably his worst performance I've seen him in this tournament. When he was trying to use the Nether Grasp on the Zac, maybe catch him out so the rest of his team could follow up, they were never really able to burst him down fast enough.
Yep, and then the Hecarim ban, also exactly the same as before. If they ban the LeBlanc here, yep. Looks like they're all going to go for the exact same 6 bans.
I do want to point out, even though Larry Zhang UMD has played Malzahar 2 games in a row, it looks like they found the answer with the Jace top. He still has the Karthus and the Nami to pull out. That if you bring a Nami out,
They switch it up.
man.
Instead of the Rek'Sai ban, they're banning the Zac here.
Yeah, they could first pick the Rek'Sai. I think that is a champion that Sax plays. But it wouldn't be quite the same carry style that we've seen. So
And
I guess
Graves
we'll see.
also still banned out.
Yeah, but they're gonna first pick the Caitlyn. Actually, they were really hurting from that lead in the bottom side. I guess. I mean, we saw the Caitlyn on Team 6 last time. James LS actually picked up a double kill very early on the lane, so they don't want to fall victim to that anymore. Caitlyn, obviously a champion. Even if you fall behind in kills, you can still kind of see us a little bit.
Yeah, still okay at sieging and pushing. Long range is always safe, just not exactly the best when you end up having to duel something like a Vayne. But sadly in the last game, there was never really a 1v1 duel set up from the Vayne. It was just Vayne getting pretty much singled out 3v1 in team fights and getting destroyed with some somewhat questionable flash engages as well, and some sadly poorly timed condemns that could have been catches.
My biggest question is, what mid laner is Ganked by Mom going to pull out? Actually, I guess that's tied with what Larry Zhang's gonna pull
What's
out.
Larry Zhang gonna play?
These solo laners are just completely crazy. So
Yeah, so the Rek'Sai was left open, not banned this game, so there must be some reason for them to want to pick it, and it looks like the Varus is locked in, and the Rek'Sai will be locked in as well. I'd like to see where this Varus goes.
do you know if David plays any Varus mid? Asking a third party. All right. Oh, he plays with AD carry Varus? Oh, okay. So, look, Lee Sin only, we do have a little insider info because several people here have been close with a lot of these players.
Yeah, and if you're one of the players and you're listening right now, close that damn stream.
Yeah, but it looks like Jungle Lee Sin only does play a lot of AD carry Varus.
Ooh, and I'd love to see the Spook Riven come
boy.
out.
That
Yes,
would be quite the finish. That being said, a lot of teams get into the situation where when the nerves are the highest and the stakes are really, really close to collapsing.
Choke and tilt the hardest,
Yeah,
too.
a lot of people get in this mentality, I have to carry now. Like, if I don't carry, then we're going to lose this game. So if he goes for the Riven, I would be really afraid that you really don't want to get into that mindset where if you're not carrying, then you're dying. I mean, Riven kind of goes with that play style, but especially in the finals, we've seen it in Capital One Circuit finals before. We've seen it in the ULOL tournament where people just kind of go on these really hard carry champions and just try to force victories, and they kind of abandon the team play that's gotten them.
And it is locked in. That will be the Riven top. I believe he feels he already knows the matchup will be this Vladimir. I believe Larry does have a couple games of Vladimir in his belt, so it's it's quite likely that he's picking Riven into the matchup that he feels he will win.
Yeah. Chat saying, "Oh man, it's Spook Riven. Rip team. Rip the blue team." And then Kalian responding, "Wait, you mean rip red team?" Trying to sling some shade over there on the Riven, saying, "Listen, buddy, nice try. I know you're about to feed." Because as I know, whenever you have a Riven on your team, it's the Shaco paradox where your Rivens always feed.
The Poppy again.
Man.
Poppy, the classic. Poppy absolutely destroys Riven and
Yeah.
Rek'Sai as
Holy
well.
cow.
Complete denial. Riven can literally only cast her W and her ult when Poppy is in the range. Everything else will just be stopped constantly. Also, you can easily stop these Rek'Sai engages as well. Poppy back on Sax. This could spell trouble for red team.
Yeah, and Sabotage was really good on the Vel'koz last game, but Ahri matchup is much, much harder to play Vel'koz into, because if you ever try to get your combo off and try to use your ultimate, not only does Ahri have the Spear Rush to dodge all of your abilities, if you're standing still channeling Lifeform Disintegration Ray, that's a free charm and a free kill for Ganked by Mom, who loves going for these aggressive plays.
Yeah, and I also love Ahri on GBM against a Varus on the AD carry, because Varus has to charge Qs, you get a single good flank into a charm. Easy pickings. Looks like Sabotage is going to go for the Vel'koz again. This is a little risky. Maybe you probably want to take Cleanse again in this specific matchup, but we'll see what he ends up doing. I probably shouldn't talk too much about the summoners, but they shouldn't be listening anyways. And we have the no spoiler tags up, but we'll see how this plays out. Red team has another 2 frontline champions. They're going with the Rek'Sai Thresh, while blue team is going with the Poppy as their only tank again.
Gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed we don't quite see the Nami top. I would have wanted to see it in the tournament, but we get Notorious Spooks Riven. That is notorious in the club. If you've ever played with him, he is super comfortable on that champion, getting all them auto resets with the Hydra and everything. But I'm a little worried for Sabotage. He already fell behind last game on the Vel'koz. Granted, he's probably had more experience playing in the Ahri matchup than an AP Lucian mid. But if he starts falling behind, Ahri is a champion that excels against almost the entirety of Red side because they don't really have a lot of tanky members.
The nice thing about Vel'koz is also that if you just max your W, you can just constantly wave clear and ignore trying to fight the enemy champion. That's one of the key things that makes Vel'koz so strong, your ability to wave clear safely. So I think in this case the matchup should just be wave clear, and don't let GBM get a kill. Let him out CS himself.
let him out CS himself. I couldn't have said it better myself. And with the Rek'Sai, that does give you the ability to gank early. Sabotage 27 was pretty good at landing a lot of those tectonic disruptions to get the knockup. And especially if you have Rek'Sai coming in for an early gank, getting one knockup with the Unburrow, it's that much easier to follow it up with your own CC. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of early mid lane pressure from Aigu like we've seen earlier today.
But I also think because Spook is on this Riven, that Aigu's going to be top fairly often. That's a very strong duo when it comes to ganking. So much CC and damage split among the two champions. And Vladimir really only has Ghost in a pool as a way to escape. So if they manage to land any form of CC beforehand and save the rest for when he exits the pool, that is one dead Vladimir.
A lot of times when I'm casting, I kind of say like, oh man, I'm excited to see this matchup. And I kind of mean it like halfway, but I also want to hype it up for the fans. But oh my gosh, I'm actually really excited to see this matchup right now. Like, I can't stop smiling. This Riven versus Vladimir top, it's going to be pretty much the ultimate test for Larry Zhang UMD, that really weak game Vladimir versus one of the strongest top laners in the game. Sax going back on his legendary Poppy. I say legendary because he was legendary as a jungler earlier today. Only 2 deaths in that whole game where he dominated the enemy team. We get to see Sabotage on that Vel'koz. He absolutely shredded everybody. Jungle Lee Sin only on his, I guess, signature Varus. We got ganked by Mom playing another aggressive mid lane champion. This will be a barn burner.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think, once again, all these games are revolving around the jungle here. Sax is really big about making it happen in the early game and picking people off, and Aiguao is really good at looking for those big team fight styles of play. And they're rightfully on their sort of similar style of jungler, but in this case, Sax is definitely more of an all-purpose team fighting jungler now, falling back to the Poppy and the Kazakhs.
Yeah, really have to commend Sax because he's played these two very different roles incredibly well in both cases. And even though he wasn't quite able to pull out the win with the Kazakhs once they started getting those Guardian Angels out, he just transitioning that playstyle from having to kind of hide in the back, waiting for the good opportunity to get your resets on your wolololo jumps. And then bring that into the Poppy, where you're kind of just the wall in the front of the team, charging in with your heroic charge and trying to get some Keeper's Verdicts. It takes a lot of skill to be able to play 2 different styles.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of these team fights are going to come down to how Poppy decides to position. If Poppy goes for the deep dive, then it does leave Riven open to a lot of engage in the back. So I think the best way to play this out as Poppy is probably to keep tabs on the Riven the entire fight, deny engages, and deny Spook's ability to carry.
All right, switching over. We'll see what kind of skins we got. Last game, I gave Team 6 the edge in the skins, and they won again. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, they got the championship Riven. Pool Party Rek'Sai, Arclay Vel'koz Championship Thresh.
That's an imposter championship Riven, though. So 2016, no crown.
Yeah.
Not the OG.
It's all right. But we do have a 5-skin enemy team. Oh, dang. That actually loaded too quickly. These people need to get worse computers because I didn't even get to see if there were any strange Keystone Masteries.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that they loaded in this fast, considering that I believe someone's playing on a MacBook.
Wait, no bathroom break. It looks like Notorious Spook's got caught off guard a little bit. He has to spend a couple seconds getting out of base.
Larry Zhang still hasn't purchased an item, though.
Wait, he did this in the last game as well, where he kind of sat in base for until about the 50-second mark, just kind of mulling over his options. And there he's going, getting those boots against the Riven, which is not unheard of. Lets you juke out some of those broken wings.
Yeah, but the refillable potion's a little odd. Not accustomed to seeing that.
I don't like that choice against the Riven specifically because refillable potions are obviously more gold efficient over the long term. But in the early game, getting normal... oh no! That Aiguao just walks out of the bush and completely reveals their plans. Sax is going to be able to ward that up. But we'll see if Thresh started Hook. He actually has not leveled yet. But yeah, so in the early game, getting the actual health potions gives you so much actual early game survivability, which is why they cost more. I mean, it just kind of makes sense. And I think as the Vladimir, you really just need to survive until you're level 6 or until you get to level 9 where your transfusion is max CDR. There you get the lowest cooldown version of that, not necessarily CDR based. But yeah, I think I would have much preferred to see the normal potions out of that Vladimir. Press OU. Sorry, I'm just helping out our friends spectating in the projector viewing room. It looks like they're not going to go for any cheesy bottom lane hooks. Just going to be leashing for the Rek'Sai and go into lane as normal.
And meanwhile, the bot lane reveals that they did not leash by showing up to lane instantly, so they do know this Poppy is starting on the top side.
Yeah, Rat with a Hat also missed that first melee minion. Come on, man. You can do better than that, but...
Come on.
Come on, man.
Don't GBM your team.
Oh, man. Too soon, dude. Notorious Spook actually starts with her E. And fun fact of the day, Riven's E's name is Valor, so... Which is kind of surprising, because you'd think an ability name called Valor would go to Quinn, but... That's, her jump is just Blinding Assault, unfortunately. So, if anyone ever asks you which champion has the skill Valor, it's actually Riven. But gets that little shield out. I'm not a nerd, shut up! Yeah, getting some early damage onto Spook. Once he gets that Q at level 2, gonna be able to harass a little bit. But Vladimir doing a pretty good job at staying at a decent range.
Yeah, you just have to survive. A hook coming out. It does land on Janna. He does not follow up with the death sentence, but does land the flay. Good damage coming out onto Janna, but Caitlyn's trading back with some good damage.
Yeah, we talked about this last game, and you really want to harass the enemy AD carry just because they don't have as many potions to keep surviving in lane. So I do believe blue side won out on that. And Notorious Spook is taking a lot of damage. He shoved the lane to get that early level 2, but now that means Larry Zhang is completely comfortable sitting as turret.
Yeah, not exactly playing the top lane out very well. Aigu is on the top side, but there's not much they can do here. Diving Vladimir this early in the game is definitely not going to work, especially since he has that Sanguine pool.
Yeah, and Aigu going to be actually invading the enemy jungle, just popping one ward down, but all those monsters are cleared out. Poppy on the bottom side for the Krugs right now. First blood actually lands onto the Caitlyn. Sorry, we missed that in a second, I guess. That was just a death sentence. You can see it's still on cooldown, but a nice hook from James LS, and Jungle Lee Sin only going to be picking that one up in the third game of the finals. Really? Oh yeah, I do need to update the score, make sure that it is, also, the teams are still on the same sides, but gotta give credit where credit is due. Looks like they're gonna continue to pressure the bottom side.
Yeah, Varus putting in a lot of work, and Lord Patchling playing aggressively with Sax coming in for the gank. He has not popped any of his ability or his W yet. He goes in for the movement speed boost. He heroic charges him backwards, but Thresh flashes away, and Varus uses the heal.
Yeah, here's a teleport coming Notorious Spook. Actually, the teleport coming out just in response, but gets canceled. Caitlyn is back here, and actually nothing really goes down in this bottom side after all that action. Unfortunately, the Hammer Shock missed from Poppy, so they weren't able to pick up that one kill. I'm not sure if that would have made the difference or not, but both teleports down. We'll see if that really influences this lane. Looks like Aigu just going to be kind of picking up some of this farm. Sabotage 27 playing this very safely, staying pretty even in CS. Yeah, pretty exactly even, actually ahead one. So well played by him so far. We'll see once Ari hits level 6 if he gets punished at all.
Yeah, Aigu just staying top lane, pretty much being the surrogate top laner as the Spook goes around the map trying to make a gank. Death Sentence nearly misses Caitlyn there.
Ooh,
could have been really bad.
I can feel Caitlyn just getting a little shocked right there, breathing heavily, saying, "Oh God, that was almost my death." But Jungle Lee Sin only getting over here, harassing with a lot of auto attacks. That gank was pretty telegraphed, but the Steadfast Presence blocks Dark Passage, and that means Varus might not be able to get out of here. Very well played by the Sax, and that's something that you need to keep in mind against a Poppy.
Yeah, sadly, I also think the Poppy missed the Q as well, which would have been a nice little extra bit of damage and slow.
Yeah,
but
that's the second time that Hammer Shock has actually missed for him in these bottom lane ganks, unfortunately.
Aigu getting aggressive after seeing that Poppy bot lane, trying to take the topside jungle for him.
Yeah, both teams actually have... No. There's 0 wards for the blue side, but there's 1 ward right here. Oh, and a second ward. So, not a lot of vision at all for Team 8 right now. But they're playing pretty safely in their lanes. They're all pushed in, so there's not really much they can do. And there's not really much they need to be afraid of. Rek'Sai just takes 1 Gromp and leaves. with that information that the enemy was bot side. Larry Zhang UMD getting harassed a little bit more. Once Riven hits level 6, we might see him go all in, but against the Vladimir with Sanguine Pool, that's always really intimidating because you don't want to throw out the Riven ultimate.
Wind Slash.
Yeah, but I was just saying you don't want to throw it out when he's popping the pool.
Yeah, Caitlyn goes for a double Doran's Blade, whereas Varus gets the BF sword right off the bat. So Varus is at a pretty decent advantage here. Definitely has a pretty strong damage lead. Also, Janna doesn't have any HP yet, while Thresh is on that full Sightstone. So I think the all-in of red side is definitely much stronger. I'd like to see him be a little more aggressive, get a hook, but luckily Janna is really good at denying that too.
Yeah, and so far in terms of CS, everyone's pretty even across the board except for Aiguao. He's up 10. Oh, actually, Ari goes in, lands a charm on the Sabotage 27. I was saying we need to watch out once he hits level 6, and that is exactly what happens. 1 kill going over to the blue team. That's going to almost even it up. They're just down 500 from that first blood bonus.
Yeah, well played. Both summoners from both sides, and James LS stepping up, trying to look for a play, but sadly isn't able to find it. Taking a lot of harass, losing most of his health, but luckily he still has some potions or some biscuits to heal off in the end.
Yeah, well played by Aiguao. It's been difficult for him to kind of maintain that lead in the mid lane going into the later stages of the game, so we'll see if that stays true for him this time. Looks like Aiguao going to come in mid, and I was saying he has a CS lead over Poppy, but a lot of that was mostly just because he was top lane while Notorious Spook teleported bottom. And he was just picking up a lot of that top lane CS, so if you look at the gold, it's actually pretty even. Yeah, he's only up 100, so not a huge discrepancy for any of these players, except for that mid lane where they just got a kill, and the bottom lane where they got the first one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, when Aigu was posturing mid to look for a kill on GBM, I think he probably could have gotten the kill, but whether or not he could have gotten out safely with Poppy nearby is definitely unsure, so it was probably a smart idea to not go for that dive in the end.
Yeah, and I really want to commend Larry Zhang UMD here. He has not been falling victim to any of this Riven Burst damage. He's already level 7. Once he hits level 9, that's kind of the sweet spot for Vladimir's, where you start being able to out-sustain the enemy. And you can see already Notorious Spook is getting harassed down more and more in this matchup. We'll see, actually, Sax coming in. There's no way that Thresh might be able to get out if they focus him, but actually Sax is going to go onto the Varus here, maybe pick up the kill, and Riven comes down with a teleport trend. Hemo Plague gonna be popping on Notorious Spook, and he does come down at pretty low health. He gets him with the Wind Slash, gonna be flashing out. Is the Ignite gonna be enough? No! Ganked by Mom, actually going under turret, gets the charm out. Is Orb of Deception gonna be enough? Not quite. They get 1 kill, but at what cost? Is anything else going on in the map? Because mid lane is getting shoved in a little bit. Vel'koz not really the most dangerous champion in terms of tower pushing. He does gonna get a little bit of damage down there, but they do pick up 1 more kill.
Yeah, Vel'koz actually does have pretty good wave clear, so he is a decent threat when it comes to tower pushing, but he opts to just push the wave and then go for the blue buff instead. Meanwhile, top lane, sorry, Vladimir is just not great at pushing in general. It takes a little bit too long to actually get damage on his E until he starts building a bunch of health and AP, so not gonna gain too much from that. So smart move from going for the 4-man bot lane without really having too much of a loss elsewhere.
Yeah, and we see that now the gold is evened up. The 1 kill making up for the first blood 400 differential. You actually see it's literally like 100 gold, 200 gold, which is the differential between getting a random kill versus the first blood bonus. So pretty exactly even. Both teams pretty impressive in terms of staying true in their lanes, not falling behind in any sense.
Yeah, and Sabotage 27 actually has a pretty sizable CS lead in the middle.
Yeah, Ari having to go down in roam, that's obviously the opportunity cost, being able to not get the damage on your mid lane turret, not being able to continue to farm up, but he did pick up that kill. So in terms of gold, Vel'koz is up 200, so just reinforcing how important CS is.
Yeah, CS is the basis of the game, more or less. Gold equals items, and items equals kills.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing in Season 1, but it wasn't until after, like, an entire year of playing where I was, like, talking to my friend, like, man, I killed him more, so I won the lane. They're like, no, you idiot, you're down 50 CS. I'm like, what do you mean? But in terms of gold, CS is super useful. Actually, Sax tried to get the heroic charge into the wall, but ganked by Mom, just gonna follow it up with a good charm. and the Spirit Rush. So a nice pickup there for the blue team, being able to increase their lead just a little bit.
Yeah, even though GBM has picked up 2 kills over the Vel'koz, when you even out the gold, like it kills roughly 15, 16 minions worth of gold, they're probably at around the same spot.
Good synergy with the death sentence into the Chain of Corruption, though, and now James LS is going to be going down pretty low here. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish it off. Caitlyn still has her ultimate, but Vera's going to have to be forced out, and another good Monsoon. Lord Patchling has been pretty on point with a lot of his abilities in the past 2 games, I gotta say.
Yeah, he's definitely a very well-seasoned Janna player.
Yeah, even though the first big Jannas have always lost, he got a multi-man Howling Gale last game more than once, got some good Monsoon healing, and there was very integral to keeping his AD carry alive, and now they're both back at full health compared to the Thresh, who's feeling the pain. And meanwhile, Notorious Spook is actually getting all in here. I was talking about Vladimir having a good time at level 9, and this is what's going down. He gets the Sanguine Pool to drop turret aggro, and he's gonna pick up a solo kill against Notorious Spook, one of the most aggressive top laners in this tournament on one of his signature carries. Meanwhile, Sabotage 27 gets a little bit too close in this bottom side, so blue team making plays happen around the map. Good job for Team 8.
Yeah, this is a very nice lead here. It's only around 1,000, or I guess 800 gold now, 700 gold, and it keeps changing. But either way, the lead's still too small to really call it either way, sadly. And that's just because of the CS differential.
Yeah, looks like Sax is going to be kind of smacking his enemies right here. Lord Patching and Rat with a Hat going to be coming in. Maybe they can tower dive this. Varus a little bit scary now that his ultimate is back off cooldown. You don't really want to get caught up under there. I think the most important thing here is that blue team probably has the momentum. We're like, oh man, we feel really confident. We made some plays. We can do this. We can make things happen this game, and we can definitely win. But the 1,000 gold lead definitely not going to be like a death sentence. Unlike that death sentence, which failed to do anything, almost died, and good heal coming out from Jungle Lee Sin just in case that last Piltover Peacemaker landed.
Yeah, I actually think that was a slightly bad 90 caliber net into a Piltover Peacemaker. It looked like he didn't animation cancel the 2. If you cast both of them at the same time, you will cast the Piltover Peacemaker as you're flying back in the net. It looked like he did one into the other. So he could have gotten a tiny bit of extra DPS out that way.
Yeah,
Aiguwa looking for the gank bot lane. He already used his tunnel, so he's going to have to flash on Burrow here if he wants to get anything done.
Does have Rat and a Hat up there, and then the flash follow with the Flay. The death sentence comes out, and it does land onto Lord Patchling. Kayla is able to get back. Then the Monsoon was saved for so long. He knows his limits on Janna, and he's able to use that to get out of there scot-free.
Yeah, very well played from the Janna. That's just exemplifying what Janna does, denying anything and everything. Meanwhile, Vel'koz does rotate down bot lane. They are very low here, so he does want to go for a cheese here, but the bush is warded.
Oh,
Ari
man.
goes in for the gank. He manages to dodge the Flay with the with Spirit Rush.
Yeah, now Sabotage getting pretty low now. Ganked by Mom, getting nearby. He doesn't want to get held up as well. And Ari wants to keep slipping around, slipping and sliding like this sly little fox she is, but she's going to turn around with Poppy coming off on the backside, and Sax heroic charging just to get the chilling smite onto Vel'koz. Is that slow going to be enough to maybe land a charm? Just out of range, so not much happening after that first kill, but they do get the Janna and the Thresh on the backside.
Yeah, unfortunately for Spook, he's 2 levels down on this Vlad, and that was not a good trade at all, especially against someone with sustain. Spook is really hurting in this top lane matchup that he chose, and so little respect from Larry. He's actually building MR against this Riven. He really doesn't care.
Holy cow. And he's still winning the lane. Got that Spectre's Cowl. Doesn't even get punished for it. And you were talking about maybe we should see some jungle pressure top to help that Riven get going. And Rek'Sai has never really been up there. Maybe came up once to apply some pressure, but no focus at all. She came to the bottom side. Even then, still a lead for Team 8.
Yes, this is this notorious Riven that we've heard about. Finally seeing it in the flesh.
Oh man.
Sadly, he did have a very unfortunate teleport gank bot lane where he missed both players with his knockup. I believe if he hit that knockup, he could have chained it instantly with a stun and probably ended up with at least 1 kill. James LS with the roam mid lane gets the Flay into the hook, into the Tectonic Disruption, into the full combo from the Vel'koz. Very clean rotation,
Yeah.
very clean kill. Well played.
And they should have known Janna's flash was down from the last time Rek'Sai ganked, so if you actually kind of saw that slight decision, Thresh went for the Flay, then the auto to get the bonus damage off of his Flay passive, then followed up with the Death Sentence, as opposed to just going Flay directly into Hook, which is a more guaranteed CC, but if you know the enemy can't flash, then you can kind of afford to get these little bits of extra damage in.
Yeah, Ahri goes for an extremely aggressive build, goes straight for the Rabadon's Death Cap first item, looking for that true damage on the return ball, really not caring about sustain and wave clear, because when you're ahead, you might as well just go for the one-hit kill rather than slowly chipping them down. So, interesting adaptation to builds, but I like it.
You know, we already saw an AP 80 carry in the last game. I kind of would have wanted to see an AP Twitch for their 80 carry on Team 8. That way we get Rat with a hat on a rat.
No,
you,
no.
you have no comment? What? No response to that? Alright, well, looks like C9 Hai's balls is dying a little bit real quick. Looks like Thresh is actually going to get caught out. The charm does not land. Has to burn the Spirit Rush to get out of there. It's always so frustrating trying to gank the Ahri. Have to deal with that ultimate, and that does save the turret, though. It's already at 270 health, so not a good time for the red team. Looks like Larry Zhang Yumdi is going to be tower diving again. He does so much damage. A flash heroic charge doesn't quite get the stun. Is Notorious Spook going to be able to do anything? No. Look at that shield from the Poppy.
And that ridiculous damage, as if they didn't even do anything at all.
Yeah.
If you were to look top lane right now, have they lost any health at all on either character? Pretty much no.
Not really, and looks like Sabotage is going to be losing his health. More individual outplays coming out from Ganked by Mom, and the blue team is just so on point with their champions so far. The lead is now 8-3. That's going to be 4,000 golds at 18 minutes. I said golds, but you know what I mean. Looks like this is getting even further ahead for the blue team. They're going to continue to get these two inner turrets pretty low. Actually, Ahri gets a charm onto Thresh and instantly bursts him. The camera is going crazy right now, going back and forth because they're sieging two towers at once. Notorious Spook doesn't know what to do. He went for that Yumu's Ghostblade Rush again. Larry Zhang Yumdi actually taking 4 tower shots for nothing. Maybe not ideal, but here comes Sax saying, listen, man, I don't care if this is inhib tower or what. I am Poppy with a huge Courage of the Colossus, so I'm gonna get out easy.
Weird little engage there. It looked like Rek'Sai got stuck on something, but it doesn't really matter. Engage denied by the Janna. It's so frustrating to play engage champions against Janna, especially when you don't have something that's uninterruptible like a Malphite ultimate. So Janna just overall great at stopping you from doing anything.
Yeah, and that's kind of finally seeing the Janna first pick come into play. Because before, I don't think we've really seen, but actually Larry Zhang UMD getting caught out again. For last game, he did that a little too often for my liking. Looks like they will pick up 1 kill. Gonna try to follow it up, but it looks like the good knock-up from the enemy team gonna mean that Team 8 is pretty happy in this fight. Interrupts the Vel'koz ultimate.
Yeah, and this mid lane tower is getting quite low. Once they manage to push the wave over, I think this should be a free tower. Once again, Rat with the hat with a really, really late choice of not buying boots. I personally don't agree with that, but hey, it's working for them, and it's winning them games, so let's see if it wins them another game. But it does mean Caitlyn's awfully slow at rotations.
Yeah, the red team really just kind of needs to double down here, make sure that they can kind of focus on Vision 1 area, maybe get something, catch somebody out with that Varus ultimate, make sure they keep their wards up, because these wards are all about to expire, or at least this one is, I guess not those, but need to make sure that they're not getting jumped on by this Poppy. They can know which fights they can take, and maybe look for more Vlad overextensions, because Larry Zhang UMD, he kind of suicided pretty often last game, and he died once this time, but his team was close enough to kind of turn it around.
Yeah, luckily Vladimir is really good at baiting these sort of things. He does have a Sanguine Pool, he has an ultimate that has a delayed heal, and the Zanya's Hourglass, so honestly getting caught on Vlad is a lot better than getting caught.
Yeah,
on
and actually,
alcohol.
Larry Zhang UMD just going full aggro here after getting caught. He says, I don't care what you're throwing at me. I will kill you and possibly get out scot-free. Pops Azanias gets the Hemoplague heal. That means he's still alive. They're diving the inhibitor tower, but Sax is here. He's pretty tanky. I don't know if he's even going to fall down. There's one piercing arrow. Not enough damage to override the Monsoon healing. That means Sax can dive back in for more kills. Gangbang Mom gets one. Gangbang Mom gets two. Is he gonna get a third one? Where's the Quadra? He doesn't even care. They're gonna get the inhib. That might be the nail in the coffin for Red Team in terms of the gold lead of this game. It's already 9,000 at the 20-minute mark.
And GBM chanting for himself. A great play there. I have to say, that one Spirit Rush where he finished Aigu with an auto attack and instantly switched aggro to the Vel'koz, extremely well played and calculated, knowing that he needed just enough damage to finish him off, but not wasting anything else. A huge life disintegration rate coming out. Sadly, not going to pick up a single kill, leaving GBM, I think, probably
10 health?
10 health after that. Jeez, that was close.
Yeah.
Kind of wish you took Deathfire Touch now, maybe. But honestly, it's probably better to take Thunderlord.
Yeah, and in all honesty, it's been, a lot of this has just been coming out of the top lane where Notorious Spook is not really contributing anything to the team so far. And when you have a team with the Vel'koz, you really need somebody that can go in front of you, make sure you can corral the enemy and tank a lot of this damage. But so far, Riven has just not had an impact on the game.
Yeah, not able to split push and not really able to team fight either. This Riven has been more or less completely neutralized and also down a lot in CS. Larry Zhang is putting his carry pants on in the top lane.
I mentioned at the beginning of this game that in the past we've seen people get caught up in the moment. Looks like Jungle Lee Sin Only is going to get caught out here again, 2v1, just pushing a little bit too far out.
And a wasted TP from the Riven. That was not a great play.
But yeah, like I was saying, people in tournaments that I've casted in the past, in the finals, people get caught up in the moment like, oh man, listen, give me my champion. I'm going to win this for us. If I can just like win the lane, if I can style on them, because I know I've styled on people before, then we'll just smash the enemy. But it's really not conducive to what their kind of game plan is here with the Varus doing AoE damage with his piercing arrows and the rain of arrows, along with your Vel'koz, who needs people to sit there in a line. Looks like a flash rogue charge actually going to start another fight onto Notorious Spook. He's getting pretty low here. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything. He actually tries to get out, but Larry Zhang UMD picks up one final critical transfusion on him, gets another kill. Going to be going then onto the Varus 80 carry. Rat with a hat here. Now, even at the fountain, they're going to be getting on the Nexus turrets at the 24-minute mark. This could be the end of the entire tournament here. Rat with a hat, the only one that really matters so far. Sax keeping the enemy team away, and all they need to do is auto the Nexus. This could be the last of the best of three. This could be the game and the tournament going over to Team 8. Very well played this entire time. Vel'koz making one last-ditch effort. Knows he needs to exhaust the Caitlyn. He does pick up the shutdown. He gets another one, but Poppy pulls it in with the sheen. Congratulations to Team 8 winning the Capital One circuit in 2016.
All right, so now we can say that we got knocked out of brackets by the team that won it all, so we must be second place. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Definitely.
That's pretty much a fact at this point. We were obviously the best team, second best team, but no, huge props to both these people, especially Team 6 in the last game pulled back from such a difficult situation, being able to make consistent team fight after consistent team fight.
I'm going to have to throw the question back at you. Who do you think was the MVP of this game?
Who do I think was MVP? I think Ganked by Mom and Larry Zhang were probably the two best contenders.
If you had to pick one.
I think Larry Zhang was probably had a larger impact overall because Ganked by Mom obviously has the flashier score, 8-0. That's beautiful. Oh, when you get the mid lane score just right. Oh. That's kind of the dream as a mid laner, right? But Larry Zhang pretty much took Notorious Spook out of the game, and it almost made it a pretty much made it a 5v4 almost. Every single fight, Riven was just jumping away, maybe throwing out that one ultimate or two, trying to get a little bit of damage, but she was never really in contention. And I think Larry Zhang being able to kind of dominate his lane and initiate a lot of these fights, soaking up so much damage, was actually more impactful than the fact that Gank by Mom was able to pick up more kills.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Just looking at these levels, Larry Zhang is level 15, the highest level in
my
the game
gosh.
by 2 levels. No one else was even close to him. How much EXP he soaked up and how much damage he did. Whew.
Oh, just barely lost. Oh wait, no, he won. He won
Yeah,
the
he
total
just,
damage.
He just barely beat Gank by Mom in terms of total damage. GBM with a crazy high damage build though. He went straight for the Rabadons into Lichbane. He was going against a team like that. If as long as you don't engage on a tank in their front line, they're pretty much guaranteed dead. You get a charm on Varus, you get a charm on Riven, you get a charm on Vel'koz, they're going down.
Yeah, and if we go back to the pick ban a little bit, I think I might have preferred to see the Alawi from Notorious Spook rather than the Riven, because even if you fall a little bit behind earlier on, you can still contribute a lot in the team fight. You get a lot of that sustain, you're a lot tankier for one, and you can contribute even if you're just building tank with, if you get several tentacles out, getting that leap of faith on multiple people against a very aggressive team. Not Wow, but Gank by Mom and Friends have always been very aggressive, very apt to dive, not hesitating at all, and that's really what Alawi wants. They want everyone to come into her so she can just slam them with the tentacles.
Yeah, sadly, they fell victim to the notorious Riven.
You know, in chat, gotta give a shout out to Kaliang. He said, oh man, rip Spook. He picked Riven. He knew what was coming.
Sadly, this is what happens when the nerves get to you. You feel like, I need to carry my team. I guess he didn't really have their normal AD carry to rely on as that late game carry, so he really wanted to be able to finish it off in the early game. Sadly, the plan did not work.
Yeah, Gank my Mom with that super, super high burst build, Rabadons into Lichbane, just getting a charm and pow, right in the kisser. Being able to kind of just destroy the enemy team. And we saw Sabotage did pretty decently this game, 4 and 5. He was able to get some damage out, but
He was able to wave clear properly, farm well. Sadly, the big AoE team fights just never really happened for their team. The other team was really good about flanking from different sides. Larry Zhang with his very odd angles, and then Sax coming with the Poppy, GBM coming in on the side. It was very rare for the other team to actually be in this straight line AoE sort of Vel'koz fight that he really wanted.
Yeah, and like even last game when I was giving Sabotage tons of praise, we didn't really see him do anything super positive until the 30-minute mark or so. Then when we started to see him kind of come back in these late game team fights and absolutely destroy, and we never even got there. The game ended in 24 and a half minutes.
Yeah, this is one of these games where it became a little more clear why there's a discrepancy in rank between these two mid laners. GBM, while he was out CS at some points, really looked for rotations and plays, and because of his, I guess, confidence in his own skill, he was more willing to go look for these picks and help his team win, whereas Sabotage seems to be playing more of a passive role on his team, safely wave clearing and then translating into a big control mage team fighter. So this kind of feels more like a solo queue game in the sense that the assassin...
There's a lot of like lane leads and like individual kind of stuff.
But so these are some of the things you can look for and try to analyze when you're looking to improve your own play. What does the other player do better than me? How did they win this one and why?
Yeah, and then kind of taking it to the bottom, I think neither team really made any super flashy plays happen a lot of the time in the bottom lane this game, but I think Lord Patchling really kind of pulled it out on the Jen, and we saw a lot of pressure by the Rek'Sai, and he was really good at just being able to kind of diffuse all these dangerous situations, being able to Howling Gale, save his cooldowns until they're absolutely necessary, and just getting out barely.
Yeah, Lord Patchling definitely showing his affinity with that champion.
Indeed. And if we look at the damage graph, we did mention Ahri got the most of Vladimir, just following that up.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see how much true damage did the Ahri do. Is it included in... Oh, I guess you have to use the new Spectate client, but when you add up these two lines of physical and magic damage, there is a solid chunk of true damage coming in from the Ahri. What is it, 11,000 plus 1.4 into 16? Yeah, it's a solid 4,000 magic damage, roughly.
So
Or true damage, sorry. That's a lot of true damage.
There's never
the power of
fun.
that flat
Get
AP.
That Q when it's coming back to you, deceiving the orb. I mean, the orb deceiving you. I'm not sure if we're gonna like bring. Are we gonna bring the winners in? All right. So, all right. Well, give us a couple moments. I'll switch back to the music and we'll kind of celebrate their awesome play. Thanks for tuning in, guys. All right, guys. I don't know how loud this is. I've never held this like this before, but do want to give everyone a round of applause for Team 6 making it all the way to the finals and Game 3. Really well played, guys. Unfortunately, weren't able to pull it out in the third game, but you did come back for the second one. Do you guys have any thoughts on the series? Anything you have any burning desires you want to say straight off the bat?
I should have played Riven Game 1.
Should have played Riven Game 1.
Vel'koz
Vel'koz instead of GP. Yeah. Ban Poppy. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that. You kind of kept the same bans almost the entire time. Do you think you would have changed anything up if you could have kind of gone back at all? Or were you happy with your picks? All right. Nice.
Sorry, but
I've never seen you play Vel'koz before.
I used to play a ton.
You play a ton of it?
Yeah,
All right.
in the tournament 2 years ago, I played them pretty much the entire time.
Yeah. Kind of hard to hear. Saying he plays it a lot, has played it a lot in the past. But yeah, anyways, big round of applause to you guys. We can get Team 8 up here next, but thanks for coming out.
For
Alright.
winning second place, you guys get $50 Amazon gift card.
Wow. All right, yeah. Thanks, Capital One, for hosting us, sponsoring this whole tournament, driving us out, giving us some food as well. But yeah, hope you guys happy to come out here. We're definitely happy to have you. One final round of applause, and then we can bring Team 8 out here. All right, can I get Team 8 to step into the limelight real quick? Is that him? Who is he?
Skarner in real life!
Skarner.
Scar!
All right. Let's see.
We're in Team 1.
Nice. All right, first of all, round of applause to our champions of the 2016 Capital One Circuit. All right, so how are you guys feeling right now?
Happy.
Happy? All right.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All
I
right.
feel like I should study soon.
You need to study for exams. Yeah, let's. We can wrap this up and get out of here. But yeah, Larry Zhang UMD. Can you please tell me the inspiration why you picked your summoner named Larry Zhang UMD?
Let's see. So when I first played solo queue, I was going to transfer to UMD, and I didn't know any friends here, so I randomly queued up with people that were at UMD, like GBM first, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then I kept playing more solo queue the next week. I just kept playing against people from CP. Oh, they're all Diamond 5 like me, 0 LP. So then I changed it to Larry Zhang UMD, and before I knew it, they were just adding me left and right.
Nice. League of Legends making friendships happen since 2016, or I guess since whenever you started playing. But yeah, why'd you pick the Vladimir against the Riven in the last game?
So Spook is really bad at lane control. Okay. Because Vladimir will lose if he pushes the lane. So because he keeps pushing the minions for me, you can hold 4 minions on the freeze and you'll lock in whenever you want. And he can never all in you, ever. Then you just rush Ninja Tabi, Seekers, and then you can just wait for all in.
Nice. What drove you guys to kind of first pick Janna every single game? I mean, you weren't blue side every single game, but it was the first pick every time. Why do you value that so much when other champions might have been like also really impactful in the series, like Poppy, for instance?
We used Poppy more as like a counter pick for Zach specifically. Like we weren't looking to play it every single game till the third when we realized, hey, we don't have a tank and we're losing late game. But the Janna just appeal and all around like how our play style it fits really well. Nice.
So I'm not sure how the volume was, but just saying that it's a Zach counter, making sure they can grab that if the enemy team does pick up the Zach for theirs. What's your guys' favorite Twitch emote? Tyler 1, Kappa. Kappa's kind of bland, but it's old but gold. I gotta give it to you. Would you guys change anything if you could do it again? Maybe play it a little safer. What?
I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have picked Maul. It's a hard game too.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. Not quite the.
Not bad. You just add them up.
If you guys could pick a world skin, like you get to do if you win worlds, what skin would each of you get?
Probably Poppy.
Poppy. All right. Got that.
Probably Singed.
Singed. That permaban throughout the whole tournament, pretty much. I was sad we never got to see it, but.
Once.
Oh, once? Okay. Never again.
Never again.
Timo.
Team. Alright, Timo. Okay. Have you ever played Timo in the tournament?
Oh, no, not tournament.
But you played in solo queue.
It is guilty solo.
I guess Lucian then.
Okay, Lucian. AP Lucian. that was pretty spicy.
I would probably say Twitch, even though I don't play Twitch, just because it goes with my name.
All right. And what's your name?
Rat with a hat.
True. I actually memed you a little in the last game there. What kind of
I would definitely
skin?
go Zach skin.
Nice.
All the way.
All right. Anyways, yeah. Do you want to have some words?
Yeah, sure. For winning first place, you guys get $100 each.
Thank you.
All right.
In some closing remarks, I just want to thank everyone for coming out here. I really enjoy it every single year. And if you guys are at all interested in applying here, please what's up? Please forward your resumes. Just contact me or forward your resumes to us, and we definitely put you in touch with the right people. But I hope you guys had a lot of fun, and looking forward to the next time we get to do this.
Yeah. All right. Any final words for you guys?
I'm sorry I didn't get to play the Nami.
Sorry I didn't get to play Nami Top. That would have been fun. But all right. Thanks for coming out. Congratulations to our 2016 champion. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you are indeed interested in a career with Capital One, you can definitely ask our lovely co-presidents, Jacqueline Chen or Julia Lee, or just post on Facebook, something like that. We can hook you up with the people. The man who was just talking right behind me was Capital One worker and club founder Andrew Agria's gal. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for watching. That's it from us in McLean. See you guys next year.